Yo, what's up, everyone? How are we doing today? What a bolt. What is it, Tevent? Tevent is one of the big arc bosses. There's Queen Bellendir, and there's Tevent. And Bellendir has the crossbow, the sword, and the staff. But Tevent has the great sword, and the dagger, and the bow, and the other one, I think. The wand? Who has the wand? Free to play, but over 30k loosened. Pretty funny that every streamer seems to have insane drop luck. No, it has nothing to do with drop luck. He paid for early access and sold everything to whales. No, it doesn't have anything to do with selling to whales either. Man, we got a lot of cope for the first 30 seconds of the stream. The strategy is to sell everything in the beginning, because after that the prices will go down a lot. That is part of the strategy, yeah, but that's not where all the money came from. I mean, I hear this same cope every single day, and all I do is I just open this up, and you can just look at the transactions and see that it's not the case. I've made 6,400 loosened in the last 4 days, 3 days. So, nope, it's not about playing early. You can continue to make money right now if you know what you're doing. We are hoping for a great sword that happens to drop for you. Well, it'll drop for the guild, so I probably won't get it. I don't know what we're doing. I assume the great sword is going to go to one of the tanks. I don't think they would give it to a dagger player because we kind of don't do any AoE. But if one of the daggers drops, I might get it. I'm guessing I'm like third in line for the daggers. I don't think I'm first in line. The dagger looks so powerful. Yeah, the dagger's the one I really want. The great sword, I would use it. It's a cool sword, but the dagger's the one that I like really want. They all free to play somehow. Yeah. What you want to see my bank statement, dude? You don't believe me? I've streamed it all from day one. I don't know what else to tell you. If I change the trait on the weapon, can I still extract it? I believe you can. Yeah, I have not tried to do that, but I don't see why it wouldn't work. I was like, why did I just get Bellendir Remedy out of this box? But it's because the quality Stellarite icon is bugged. Okay, well, it's nighttime. Let's go run through Crypt. Gear up streamer first for good guild luck and bragging rights. I don't think anyone watches this stream, Bolt. I don't think the guild cares. Nighttime boring? Nighttime is when we get to pick random fights for no reason. With Snotling X. Oh, he's fast. It's so hard to kill people in this dungeon, dude. Every time I charge up an attack, one of the mobs just knocks me out of it. Okay. Currently unable to use. Awesome. Sweet. Sorry, Snotlink. You had a good name. Snotling's in your guild? He plays a lot? What's he doing going into Shadow Crypt by himself? This place is dangerous at nights. Need to bring some friends. How you liking the game, Elephants? You level 20 fishing yet? It's crazy how the auction house prices are in the US or wherever you play. Yeah, if you're playing from EU, you're going to see way lower prices. You definitely... Making 30k on EU would be a whole different thing from trying to make 30k on NA. It's probably like triple. I'd say things over here are about triple what they are in EU on average. We're starting to see a lot of EU players make NA alts to farm Lucent on this market and then spend it on EU. Which is kind of interesting. I wonder over a long enough period of time if EU prices will start to go up because of that. Like if the difference between the regions will start to flatten out as people make alts in different regions. None of these guys want... None of these guys want to fight? Where should we go next? Ant Nest? We really need to start cleaning out Cilias each night. That's the most fun. But I didn't get there in time. Range endurance over 100 Lucent. On EU it sells for 20 Lucent. Yeah, it just depends on the slot. People with a life don't make alts. They do eventually. Eventually you can get into a groove where even if you have a life, you can make an alt. I definitely spend a lot of time doing things that aren't Thorn and Liberty, and I'm gonna make an alt pretty soon. That was a close one, Therian. You almost died live on television. Alright, let's leave Ant Nest. Gotten 2 rare pets from dungeons. I think I've gotten most... I need to check. I feel like I've gotten most of the dungeon drops by now. The dungeon pets. I think I'm missing one of the morphs. Oh, it's raining. Oh. Let's see if anyone's in Sanctum. Either play alts or swipe if you want to be competitive now. No, I don't agree with that. I feel pretty competitive without doing either one of those things. I guess I'm gonna make a money-making guide. It's not a topic I find particularly interesting, but people are so obsessed with it that I think it's gonna have to be the next one. Because I'm seeing a lot of misunderstanding about how the market works and how making money works in this game, even though it's really not that involved. This game has a much simpler market than any other MMO I've ever played. There's only a couple things you can buy and sell. Where are you going, buddy? Where are you going? Wait, is that really how people get up here? I gotta show them the other way. That was the longest route to get up here I've ever seen. You can just climb over here, dude. Right there. What's this guy doing? Are you safe right there? No, that's crazy. Is he AFK? I don't think I could kill this guy if he wasn't AFK. Look how tanky he is. Look at all those blocks. 0, 0, 0, 0, 0. That's interesting. Did you guys know you could just hit someone for 0? Is it a flat reduction? I always thought it was a percentage reduction. Alright, sorry. That was cheap. Don't go AFK at nighttime in a dungeon, though. We need the score, boys. It's not my fault. We need the score. I didn't choose to be like this. It's the incentive structure. I've made 3K losing this week. No guild, my own. But my own, only me in there. Been playing 2 weeks. Nearly upgraded gear to blue max traits, and I play solo. All would be crazy, to be honest. Yeah, no, alts are a really good way of making money, but I definitely don't think that you have to play an alt, or else you're not competitive. There's a good number of people in Ethereum playing alts, but there's plenty who don't. I would say probably more than half have not bothered. A lot of these guys barely play one character. They just want a PvP. We couldn't even get them to grind activity for the siege lock-in. Lazy zoomers. That's a player. No, it's not. That crow's always there. Damn it. It looked like a player for a second, though. What's the easiest DPS combo? I struggled to find a good combo. All the skills feel like they don't match each other. You talking about for Greatsword Dagger, or what do you mean? What time is Tevent? Tevent is in 3 hours. I have no idea what I'm doing, and I'm at 10k lucid. Easiest DPS is probably Staff and Wands, because if you screw up, you can heal yourself to full. Staff and Wand, very, very strong. Hey, Blade, welcome back. I saw your subathon went to full 20, is that right? Welcome back for 21 months, dude. Mine was crazy as someone not in a PvP guild kept throwing my body over and over again. Yeah, there's going to be quite a bit of body throwing. A lot of our competition, unfortunately, has fled the server, so I don't think we're going to get any Zergs to really contest it, but there will probably be some groups of 30 or 40 who show up. I mean, the loot is too good. Like, as much as I want to say, you know, that we would hold back and give people a chance, we won't. We're not going to do that. We're going to absolutely bully the fuck out of that boss and try to get as much loot as we can. There was a guild that decked on us for our Boonstone, and we offered to, like, number match them, but they didn't want to. So, you're shaving your head for Movember? Yeah, that's sure. I sure am. How'd you know? I think playing alts makes the game feel tedious. It could, yeah, it could definitely burn you out. I think you have to like the alt that you're playing. I'm going to be rolling a staff alt, and I kind of miss playing staff from Korea, so I think I'm going to have fun doing it. Some things, though, like, I already don't like running the holiday dungeon 3 times a day. If I was running it 6 times a day, I don't think I'd make it. I don't think I would make it, boys. I think that alt would sit with a bunch of candy corn that doesn't get used. How do you share your Lucent you made from alts to main? It's shared automatically. Your whole account has one pool of Lucent. If you're playing EU, I think it's a little bit of a different story. I feel like if you're on EU, making an NA alt is a lot higher impact. And if everybody starts doing it, if all of the EU players start making NA alts, then EU prices might actually become, like, unsustainable for a lot of people. You might be forced to make an NA alt. I think it's crazy that they link it across regions. Like, linking it within regions is one thing, but linking it across regions to me is kind of insane. That was fun to do, and you were right, they wanted it longer. I told you, dude. I told you. What is this guy doing? Oh, I hate that it attacks mobs if I don't have a target. No matter what targeting settings I use, it still does that shit. It's so frustrating. Is Ethereum moving servers? I imagine we will move after the siege because this server's dead. But I think all the servers are dead, so I don't really know where we would go. We'll probably watch the other sieges and see which server has the biggest Zerg, and then go there. But, I mean, I don't know. I feel like no matter how big the Zerg is, it's just going to dissolve as soon as we show up. But I think it's going to take another couple months before anyone can really try to contest EPH. I haven't really seen much happening in that regard. And I mean, I wasn't expecting it either. Like, it's one thing on Korea where the game had been out for months and months, like people were already established. And so it's a lot easier for them to like band together. And plus I think Korea just has a more Zergy. It was very like the Korean server, since it was only one set of servers, you almost had like people were grouping by like nationality. You had like the Korean Zerg and the Japanese Zerg and the Russian Zerg and the Chinese Zerg, and so like if you were one of those people, you were just in that Zerg, and so it kind of happened naturally. But now we have like NA East, NA West, we have Europe, we have Oceania, and so it's not like I think if everyone was in one area, then you might see like a similar effect, but there's nothing binding people. There's no national identities binding people together on, it's not like New York versus California or anything like that. Although that would be fun. Where I can find that, what other gear can upgrade my boots magic evasion? Any boots with magic evasion can upgrade your boots with magic evasion if you're trying to upgrade the magic evasion. Is it a bad take? I think this game has an extremely low skill ceiling. Saw that Staparo, who was rank 1 in kills, clicking his abilities in a clip. I don't think Staparu's a bad player. I think that is a bad take. Yeah, Staparu's been around for a long time. He's played a lot of games. I don't think he's a bad player. Does clicking your abilities mean that the game has a low skill ceiling? First of all, I doubt that he clicks his abilities regularly. Someone probably just clipped that so they could try to meme on him. Without having context, I have no idea why he's clicking his skills. Maybe he was goofing around. Maybe he actually just clicks certain skills because, for like Flash Wave, maybe he clicks it because the charging bugs out sometimes if you press the hotkey. I mean, there's all sorts of reasons we could come up with, but I really have no idea. But I don't think Staparu is a bad player, so I don't think that's the explanation. And also, even if you did click your skills, it wouldn't make the game low skill ceiling. It would make the game slower paced, but that's not necessarily the same thing as making it low skill ceiling. I mean, if I'm playing chess, I'm clicking my abilities. Would you say chess has a low skill ceiling? Like, I don't know. I think that seems like a bad metric to me. What's the most efficient co-op dungeon Lucent-wise in your server? I think just doing the random dungeon is your best bet so that you can get the shards. But if I had to pick, I don't know. Each one of these has like a purple that's still worth money. I mean, like Ebonroar from Tyrants. I mean, Cursed is still pretty good because it has the Violent Signet that drops as a blue. And then like Swirling Essence Shoes are still worth a lot of money. So probably still Cursed. Featherskin Gloves also. Featherskin Boots. Yeah, it's probably Cursed. I think overall Cursed has the most valuable loot. But I mean, you could take the time and actually check the prices of everything and analyze it if you really wanted to. But my guess without doing that would be Cursed Wasteland. Did you farm your skill books out? No, I still got a lot to do when it comes to skill books. Oh man, these guys are taking over. I gotta get in here and help. I wasn't paying attention. This man is shooting me while I'm invisible. How do I get up there? All right, we've retaken the hallway, the lobby. Oh shit, I'm dead. Staff player looked at me. What's the number under your mana bar, main? My mana bar. Let me look. I think it means 3 other things. I don't know. I hate the way they do the buff bars in this game. I hate the fact that I can't see my Thundercloud stacks on my target as I'm building them up. I have to always look at their bar. I can't see them like on the nameplate. That really bothers me. It's like another one of those things that like exists in 2004 WoW but still doesn't exist in this game. It's like, what are we doing here, guys? The bait of the game turning to daytime, but PvP not turning off is so funny. I have no idea why they do. Do you guys think that's intended, or do you think it's a bug? It always lags for like 2 minutes. And I don't understand, like, maybe not 2 minutes, maybe it's only 1 minute, but still, like, what is the reason for the delay? It's so funny to me. Okay, let's go be productive. Doors are closed, hope you got in. Let's do some dungeon runs. Cave of Destruction? No. Reject. I will wait, though. It is courteous to wait after rejecting a random match. Don't be the guy who just spams the button and causes the queue to pop 15 times. Don't be that guy. Imagine 60-70% of the Zoomers that make up BPH will be gone in 2 months. Maybe. I mean, there's really nothing else to play, though. So, okay, I'm rejecting cave again. This is a different cave, I promise. How do I craft a purple litho recipe? I click on it, but it doesn't allow me to see a recipe or where to get it. You can't craft a purple lithograph. The lithograph is the recipe. So the only way to get it is to extract it out of an item. You can't just go and craft whatever purple you want, Mogram. If you want to get that lithograph, you have to buy it off the market from someone who extracted it from the item itself. He's bad. He didn't use his trinket in CC. Okay, I mean, you stream for hundreds of hours. Someone clips you not using your trinket one time. I don't know, dude. I'm pretty sure if someone watched your gameplay that closely, they'd find some errors as well. I'm saying if someone's so bad could be a rank 1, it's low skill ceiling. I think it's a really boring conversation. So you can have your opinion. And I don't think I care anymore. Where's your Stellarite, bro? I don't use Stellarite on the daggers. There's no reason to. Temple of Slaughter. It's the Trait Whisperer, master of the mystery of efficient gear upgrading. How are you today? I'm doing okay. How are you guys doing? I had a long morning. Do I seem grumpy today? Or is chat just being extra dense? I can never tell. It's hard to tell sometimes. When T2 comes out, do you think you can make as much Lucent as the game launch? Oh, yeah. Easily. Way more, probably. People are going to be so much thirstier for T2 gear than T1 gear. Some of that T2 gear is insane. Plus, there's just gonna... I feel like there's just gonna be more Lucent in the economy. You know, even free-to-players are gonna have Lucent banked up by then. So, like, yeah, I think the market's just gonna have a lot more happening in general. I think it'll be very easy to make money at the launch of T2. I think every content release is gonna be like that. The first week or two is gonna be a huge opportunity to make money. I must depart with you. He doesn't proclaim to be a good player, and he's not. He's not. He's just a massive grinder. That's where he excels. I mean, a lot of kill ranking is just grinding, for sure. But you can't be a bad player and be literally rank 1. It doesn't mean that you are the #1 PvPer if you're rank 1 in kills. I'm not saying that. But you absolutely cannot be a bad player and have rank 1 kills. That doesn't make sense. There is some element of skill to it. To say otherwise is just coping. You're at least in the top 20%. If you're rank 1 in kills, you're at least in the top 20% of skill. Like, come on. Can we at least agree on that? You can't be like an F tier PvPer and just somehow have more kills than everyone else because you play a couple hours a day longer than they do. It's not enough to cover that ground. There's lots of nerds who play this game all day long and farm kills and want to be the guy with the clips and try really hard to get it. So you have to at least be out competing all of those people, every single one of those people, to get rank 1. I mean, you just can't do that if you're bad. I'm sorry. That does not make sense. Not a large guild, watching your grumpy face is then to be 3K Lucent this last week. That's what I like to hear. Tevent spawns in 3 hours. Two hours and 54 minutes. Show us quick your weapons. I'm using Darkslayer daggers and Morokai's Great Blade. I would not recommend that you use Darkslayer daggers and Morokai's Great Blade. In hindsight, I would have done things a little differently. Why didn't he outrank Steparu? Yeah, if it's so easy, why don't you have the rank 1 kills? No, I mean, it's definitely a combination of skill and time. Like, it's not 100% skill, it's not 100% time. It's definitely both of those things. It's also, like, you know, it's also what guild you're in. If you're by yourself, it's a lot harder to get kills than if you have, like, a competent group of people around you that are keeping you safe and frontlining and setting up sleeps and doing all the things that you need to do to capitalize. But presumably, if you're playing with a competent guild that's getting more kills than everyone else, then that means there are a lot of other people in your guilds that are competent, that are also trying to get rank 1. So yeah, you're at least out competing them. Don't stop here. Keep going, boys. Keep going. Keep going. You got it. Nope, don't follow me. You guys are doing great. You guys like this tech? People are starting to catch on. Uh-oh. I didn't go far enough. Do you think they can... think they can handle that boss, that mini-boss with 5 people? Alright. We did it. Good job, team. What's the ultimate progression in the game? PvP ranking, kill, total leaderboards, endless gear, or level progression? There's no endless progression, unfortunately, Blade. There are significantly more vertical progression systems later on, like that Korea has, that we don't have yet. But nothing that's really endless like it was in BDO. A lot of it is just guild drama and, like, trying to have world domination. There's field bosses that spawn multiple times a day. And so you're PvPing over those and seeing who can get the most damage on the boss and who can, you know, keep their enemy away from the boss and who can get the best loot. And then there's boon stones and rift stones, which are kind of like node wars. Those happen Monday, Tuesday, Friday, and Saturday or something like that. Do I have to fly? Do we have a flyer? Okay. Nobody ever does the mechanic on this boss. Seems like we've got a lot of damage, so... There's still hope, I think. Am I tanking? That's the best I can do with West Coast ping, boys. Someone pick up the slack down here. Holy shit, can anyone in this group do anything? Okay, thank you. Good job. Alright. Never carried so hard in my life. That's not true. Most of the pub groups are like that. Hey, Ebenroar Grieve. That's a good drop. We had so much fun. After transferring away from the Russian Zerg, first Tevent was great. New server, three big alliances, and then a couple 70-man guilds. See, that sounds healthy. How do we get that on NA? Morland, do you know if Star Crystals will persist when the Battle Pass ends? So the way they did it in KR is the new Battle Pass would take over, but the old Battle Pass would be right here, and you could still click on it and spend your stuff. You couldn't progress it anymore, but you could spend your crystals. I don't know if that's going to be the same on Global, but it seems like it should. Top 5 kill players on my server are all some form of longbow. Yeah, you pretty much have to be a staff for a longbow. Maybe a crossbow. But Flash Wave helps a lot. Flash Wave is the skill that kills people. The domination politic factors and fun of the experience, that's fine too. Yeah, there's just a variety of content played. I mean, there's dungeons, there's when challenge dungeons come out, there's kind of some infinite progression there, but it's like who can get the best time running the dungeon. And then there's 3v3 arena. You can grind rank on that. There's a variety of things to do. Thinking of swapping from crossbow dagger to something else is not enjoying the bombing style anymore. Can't decide between staff or longbow with daggers instead, or even full switching to staff bow. They're both good. I like the staff personally, but longbow is undeniably crazy right now. Do we think longbow's going to get nerfed is the question. Flash Wave in particular. Do we think Flash Wave is going to get nerfed? Do you know what the new battle pass looks like yet? Probably looks like this, except instead of with little like green elven art, it has like, I don't know, harvesty, Halloweeny, autumny art. What do you guys think? You guys think the next battle pass is gonna have like swords that have leaves growing out of them or something? Maybe we'll get a pumpkin wand. Everyone in my party be like, huh, I feel so tanky. There's a difference when there's not 7 to 8 guilds all aiming their 200 plus flash waves at you. See, we wanted that kind of zerging. That's what we expected in global. Nobody in any of the NA servers is like trying to zerg. Playing as Greatsword Dagger, can I see what gear you have? You can see it, but it might not be that helpful to you. This is a pretty expensive build. It's not gonna be accessible early game to most people. Some of the pieces you can get. You can get these gloves and pants pretty easily. Although, honestly, I don't know if I would recommend these gloves. Most of the time you want the hit gloves, probably, instead of these. The reason I'm using these is because they transition nicely into the Field General Gauntlets, which is my last upgrade. Longbow did get a nerf in KR. What was the nerf? I'm okay with him nerfing Longbow as long as they nerf Dagger Evasion. You think the Dagger Evasion needs a nerf? I think if they nerf Dagger Evasion, then most evasion builds are dead. And most Dagger builds are probably dead as well. It's kind of one of the only things keeping the build alive. What is alt? Alt just means making another character besides your main character. You know, JJ quit Pearl Abyss and now is the CEO of NCSoft, owner of Throne and Liberty. Not quite. She's the CEO of NC West, which is not the same as NCSoft. And NC West is just their Western branch. I don't actually know if she's involved in Throne and Liberty. I messaged her on LinkedIn, and but we haven't like really sat down to chat or anything. If she is involved, I need to message her again. Yeah, she's definitely doing something for NC. I don't know if it's involved. I don't know if she's being involved with Throne and Liberty, though. I need to poke her again and ask her what she's working on, see if she'll tell me. Better question, what should I go for, or do you have a video? For Greatsword Dagger gear, I would look up Revik on Questlog, R-E-V-I-K. He's got budget builds that are really accessible for early game. But yeah, NC America. If I go here, see this is what I'm not so sure about. There's no Throne and Liberty on this website, which I find very odd. But maybe not, because I mean, if Amazon is publishing it, then yeah, maybe NC West just oversees Blade and Soul and Lineage and Aeon and yeah, NC America. There's no Throne and Liberty anywhere on here. So I don't actually know if JJ has anything to do with Throne and Liberty. I think it might all be through Amazon. Thought it was funny when I saw NCSoft. Yeah, no, I was excited when I saw it. I was like, oh shit, JJ, Throne and Liberty, let's go. But then I looked up the NC America website and I was like, hey, there's no Throne and Liberty here. Longbow Shield is gone. The Stacking Hill shares CD with wands. Well, Longbow Shield isn't gone. Calm down. It's gone. It just won't proc infinitely off of burn and poison anymore, which is ridiculous. That was a totally necessary nerf. It's not gone. Relax. They deleted the longbow shield from the game in Korea. I sold the Billinger staff for 15K. Stop it, Alphonse. Just stop it. You're not fooling anyone, except for other chatters. If I play SNS1, should I go into evasion for my purple gear? Confused on how it works? Nah, I would go endurance for SNS1. Time for you to be flown to South Korea to see the NC HQ? Oh, dude, I want to go back to South Korea so bad. I almost moved there, Blade. After our trip, I unironically almost moved there. But then COVID happened, and that kind of put the kibosh on any international plans. I have no idea what the word kibosh means. Did I even use it correctly? How do you spell it? Decisively end or reject something. Kibosh. That's not, I would have never guessed that's how you spell it. Informal. Verb is kibosh with a Y? Okay. Yeah, I don't know about that. Fake ass dictionary. Why is there more crossbow weapons that have further range than the longbow? Well, a longbow, you pull it with your weak little arms, whereas a crossbow, you press a button and then it uses the power of technology to launch projectiles way further than your little beta male longbow ever could. Let's see, maximum range of longbow versus crossbow. A modern 175-pound crossbow will shoot the same arrows about as far as a 160-pound U longbow or an 80-pound... Okay, I don't know what they're trying to say here. This post says maybe. That's not helpful. Can a longbow shoot farther than a crossbow? Each have their advantages. Oh my god, Cora, get over yourself. Yes or no? Kiboshi? I fly to Korea tomorrow for 2 months. Any recommendations? What part? Do you get to go wherever you want, or do you have like a destination already? Go to Busan, dude. Busan is one of the coolest cities on planet Earth. Make sure you... Well, I mean, obviously try as much different food as you can. Make sure you get some fried chicken. Korean fried chicken is insane. We are absolutely... not keeping up on the fried chicken game. Dude, I had like probably 8 or 9 different flavors of fried chicken from one place, and they were all better than any fried chicken I've had in the States. Hit up KFC. You know what was surprisingly not super good in Korea? The boba. The boba was kind of weak. We have better boba in the States, for sure. The fried chicken, though, is insane. Any of the beef, a lot of their beef is local there. Or they import it from Australia. But a lot of it is local, and it's like grass-fed Korean cows that haven't been frozen for 6 months, like most of the stuff we eat in the States has. So, very, very good. We went to a barbecue place, Korean barbecue place, and I just ate like 3 pounds of beef. I don't even know what it was. You go normal sugar level boba? Nowadays, no. Nowadays I go like half sweet. It tastes the same to me. I'm so sugar sensitive now because I like hardly ever eat it, so I don't eat a lot. You really did eat that much? We all did? Yeah, I was trying to be polite, but I would like empty the whole plate and then they'd be like, "Oh, do you want some more?" And I'd be like, "Yeah, yeah." And then I'd empty the whole plate. They'd be like, "Mora, do you still want some more?" "Yeah. Yes, yes, please." Okay. It's raining again already. Do I have blue scrolls to do? Maybe we should go in here and knock some of these out. I have 5 Sanctum scrolls. Yeah, why not? Why not? I'm almost capped on tokens anyways. Let's get some Sanctum done. Feeling sanctimonious. Okay, so Hydromancer's fine. The one where we want to be cautious about Aeromancers and Pyromancers. If we see an objective that is just those two, then we don't like that. Hydro, Pyro, that's doable. Okay. Ever get a Jollibee's, get their spicy fried chicken? It's a Filipino fried chicken. Okay. Ran Lee filled up like 8 times. Wonder what Rand's up to these days. What would be the fastest way to upgrade purple to max? The fastest way to upgrade purple to max. I'm not sure what you mean. You kind of just press the button, don't you? You go, boom, and then you click it over and over again? Or like, what are you, is there something, are you asking like how to get growth zones, or are you asking about traits, or what do you mean? Any tips on making Lucent? Is it just hoping for good trait extractions, or do you litho gamble? I don't litho gamble, no. None of my money making strategies involve any randomness, really, other than the randomness of what I get at the end of the dungeon. Yeah, you just kind of like pay attention to what's selling well, and there's a few like key decisions that you can make when it comes to spending your Abyss currency or spending your special resistance medals. There's definitely stuff that you can make that's a lot more valuable than other stuff. I never litho weapons. I've yet to come across a weapon that's worth lithoing. It's a really bad margin. A lot of people don't seem to understand that. I've seen YouTube guides with lots and lots of views telling people to litho weapons, and I don't know why they're telling people to do that, because it's not good advice. So, this one guy was like, yeah, you know, instead of lithographing this piece of armor for 400, I could lithograph this weapon for 700. And it's like, dude, you're literally making less money if you do that. Like, pay attention to your margins. But whatever. Yeah, just knowing which traits to extract, using your extraction stones efficiently. Eventually, you get so much extraction stones starting to pile up that you don't really even have to be that efficient. Like, I'll pretty much sell any blue item at this point, even if it's only for 10 Lucent. Before, like, I was aiming for... When the game first came out, I was aiming for like a 10-to-1 ratio. I didn't have that many extraction stones, so I was really trying to get the most out of every extraction stone. But, you know, now I've got a bazillion extraction stones, so even 2-to-1 is fine. Because I just need to get them spent, you know? Anything I can do to make money with those stones at this point. What is the deal with Sanctum? No one ever invites me here. Every other dungeon, I get a group instantly. Sanctum, it's like some kind of weird, like, scarcity mentality down here. I don't know what's going on. Let me try making a group. Knock, knock, you better either join my group or invite me, bucko. There we go. Knock Knock is such a good name. Is Bow Dagger good in PvE? It is okay in PvE. I would say probably B tier. It's not bad by any means, but bow. There's a lot of other bow combos that are going to be stronger. Bow crossbow, bow staff, um, crossbow dagger would be stronger. But you can definitely clear with bow dagger. I'm not saying it's bad by any means, but it wouldn't be my first choice for PvE. And it's really good in PvP. It's very, very good PvP build. I play staff bow, but it's so stationary. Well, bow anything is going to be stationary. I mean, the staff part of that doesn't really make it more stationary. It's generally the bow that makes it stationary. I guess staff might have the one passive where you're expected to stand still, but I didn't even use that one when I played staff. It's mostly bow where you're actually like charging up abilities and holding still. I never used meteor when I played staff. Well, that's not true. I used it in PvE, but I hardly ever used it in PvP, so I was always kind of moving around when I played staff. Took the moving specialization on the big fireball. Growth stones. Easiest way to get growth stones right now is probably just do the Halloween events. You get a ton of growth stones from running the Halloween dungeon. And you can buy extra entries to the Halloween dungeon once a day. If you go to Vienta Village, there's a wandering merchant who wanders through Vienta Village, and then he goes out the west exit towards Castleton. And he will sell you an extra candy corn. So you can do the event dungeon 3 times a day, and you get these pouches that have a ton of growth stones. That's a really easy way to get a lot of growth stones right now. Other than that, your contracts, you can get ores from your contracts. You can turn those into growth stones. You can get a bunch of growth stones from like the exploration codex, or really just doing just about anything will get you, because to make a growth stone you need ore, you need polished crystal, and you need magic powder. And the ores and the polished crystals, you kind of just get those all over the place. Magic powder you can get from dissolving items. Smash a bunch of items together in terms of traits, and you'll get more magic powder when you dissolve them. Haven't given TNL a fair chance. It would take time to properly analyze it. This game takes like a week at least before you have any idea what's going on. It has so many like... The thing is, the systems aren't that convoluted once you get your hands on them, but when you're first trying to wrap your mind around it, it feels so convoluted. Alright, there we go. Grab the guy from LFG. Now we're going to bully this spot until everyone else leaves. Greens are the best loosened to stone ratio these days. Yeah, any green that can sell at all, even if it's only for 10, and even if it won't sell right away. Like, I have greens that I've had to list 2 or 3 times before they finally sell. But any green that sells is worth selling. Like, 10 to 1 is phenomenal. You're not going to get a better ratio than 10 to 1. But I mean, at this stage in the game, even 2 to 1, like even a 10 lucent blue, if it sells at all, then I will sell it. We have been too stingy with my extraction stones. I was doing 10 to 20 lucent per stone. That ratio is mostly gone now. Yeah, it all comes down to how many stones you have. If you have less than 100 stones, then yeah, sure, you can aim for 10 to 1. Like, you can be real stingy. But if you have 500 stones, you can't be stingy. You gotta use them up. Reminder to spend Battle Pass tonight or soon. Yeah, I don't actually think you have to spend them tonight, but you might as well, just in case. On Korea, the Battle Pass lingered in the UI. You could even go back to like 2 battle passes ago and still spend your stuff, so I don't know. We'll see what happens on global, but I'm not too worried about it. Expo bow is nice for PvE, probably one of the best. Yeah, I think so. Hope you're well. What do you think about SNS Wand? Excellent builds, S tier in all contents. Very low damage. If you want to do damage, that's not the build, but extremely good for tanking and for healing, for living through everything. Yeah, super solid. Greatsword dagger, should I be handling the greatsword or the daggers? I always have the daggers out, and the reason for that is because of 2 skill masteries in particular, which are somewhere in one of these menus. So this one right here, Master of Evasion, all evasion 105, and then movement speed 5%, silent dash. I want these to be in effect as often as possible, and so when I have the daggers out, those are in effect. You don't have to worry about having the greatsword in your hands, because whenever you use a greatsword skill, you see how the greatsword jumps into my hand during that animation? Whatever weapon is in your hand, that's the weapon that, that's the masteries that you have in effect. And since every greatsword skill automatically pulls the greatsword out, I don't really ever need to have the greatsword out. Maybe for PvE, I don't know. I haven't looked that closely at the masteries. There might be some benefit to having it out for PvE, but for PvP, definitely have the daggers out. At least one benefit I can think of for PvE would be your Guardian. Since this is based off base damage, if I switch to... Let me see if this will work. 78, 78. Okay, now if I switch, will it update? Yeah. See how it does more? So, since it's based off the base damage of my weapon, I kind of want to switch to the greatsword when I'm using my Guardian. But other than that, I'd probably just stick with the dagger. How do you get them any extraction stones? Contract coins? Yeah, contract coins. 420 stones a week. They pile up real fast. I also bought them from the premium, or not the premium, but the Battle Pass Star Shop. I've been buying these. I've gotten 230 from here. I've been whittling this down. Ornate coins. You can buy 600 from the Ornate Coin Shop, although they're kind of expensive. The Codex, Mystic Keys. The Gate of Infinity will give you trade extraction stones if you do it fast. Gotta go fast. Quite a few ways you can get the extraction stones, but the biggest one is the contract coin merchant. And if you're struggling with contract coins, it's probably because you're not doing these blue contracts. If you're doing these blue contracts, you should have plenty of coins. And if you don't already know this, you can buy 6 of each blue scroll once a week from the Sundries merchants. So that's a huge amount of coins right there every week. Thanks a bunch for your trait guides. Truly a godsend. No problem. I'm glad you're enjoying it. Now the price of everything is dropping due to RMTers getting banned. How are you supposed to make decent Lucent? Well, the price of everything dropping means you can buy more, right? So you always have to look at that from both directions. It might be harder to make Lucent, but you also don't need to make as much to buy the same things. So you want to, you want to see how you can use that to your advantage in either direction. Is there a way to determine if items are actually selling? Yeah, there's a couple ways. So you can mouse over the recent trade price. Sometimes that's useful, sometimes it's not. Sometimes the range is like preposterously big and you can't really make any sense out of it. But typically the lowest number there is going to be the one to look at. And then you can also look at the timers. So for green ranged evasion extracts, these are all fairly short timers. So it looks like the ones that are posted for 10 are definitely selling. The ones that are posted for 11, 12, maybe not. Some of these are posted recently. Some of these were posted over a day ago. So this one's been posted for more than 24 hours. but it's possible that some other that got listed at 12 or 13 did sell. We don't know because they wouldn't be here anymore. But just based on the volume of items that you see there, and we can get out of here. I think I burned all my scrolls already, right? Yeah, that was quick. Based on the volume of items and the timers, you can kind of just guess if it's selling. There's not that many things that just don't sell. The markets are tied across multiple different servers, so all the markets are really big. There's tens of thousands of people in each of these markets. So there's not going to be a lot of stuff that just doesn't sell. If it doesn't sell, then someone else is just going to undercut it until it does sell. So for 99% of the things on the market, the price has already been solved. There's not a lot of stuff that's still like reaching its target price. Okay, let's get out of here. Watching you navigating through the menus alone makes me think there's a lot of info to absorb when first starting out. Yeah, this game has lots of menus. Very many menus. Running alts will be very hard at T2. I think running alts is going to be very profitable at T2. I mean, by the time T2 comes out, T1 gear is going to be dirt cheap. So I think you'll be able to gear up an alt for a quarter of the price of what it costs right now. Will the game eventually have enough content for PvE players? Can easily run out of things to do besides endless grinding mobs? Yes, right now it's pretty light for PvEers. I think once challenge dungeons come out, once T2 dungeons come out, and especially once challenge dungeons come out, PvEers are going to have a lot to do. You can run challenge dungeons all day long, and they will kick your ass. There's a lot of progress to do on the challenge dungeons. SNS wand guy blew me up from 8k HP. I've got no idea how. I don't know how either. Maybe he did some kind of curse explosion on you. Headed back to work. Love to continue our Discord combo from last week. Yeah, dude. Blade, I don't know if you're still here, but I'm thinking about doing like a Sunday evening discussion group thing. So I'll let you know. Maybe we'll try one this weekend. If I don't have Siege, we'll invite some people. What's the difference between endurance and evasion in PvP? Evasion will dodge an attack completely, and endurance will reduce the effectiveness of your opponent's crit chance. So endurance kind of always makes you tankier, and evasion is sort of randomly making you tankier. The endurance is a lot more consistent. Evasion only works if you have more evasion than your opponent has hit. So it's very, very difficult if you are early game, under-geared, to make evasion work. Probably not going to work. Most people should be going for endurance right now, if they aren't sure. What are your thoughts on Greatsword SNS? It's also an S-tier overpowered build in all content. The only reason I'm not playing Greatsword SNS is because I rolled on this. I rolled with a static that already had a SNS player, and we were supposed to do arenas together, and you can only have one SNS per arena. And so I rolled Greatsword Dagger, but then my SNS teammate quit to go play Ashes of Creation, which is only online 2 days a week. So now I'm just out here with these puny daggers when I could be using a manly shield instead. Did you do Tevent yet? No, Tevent is in 2 hours. When is T2? Probably February. Zabby will never live it down? No, he won't. He won't. Because if the tables were turned, I would never hear the end of it either. More contracts? Let's do a couple more dungeon runs. I've had too many dimensionals piled up. Is there an ETA for T2? They said 3 to 4 months per content phase, so That means for us probably around February. For T2 gear. Now for T2 dungeons, they said those are coming in November. So those are soon, but they're not going to put the T2 gear in the T2 dungeon yet. I think they're going to put like boss drops or just like higher drop rates for the T1 stuff. Is it very costly to switch from daggers to shields? It would cost me a lot of skill books. But at this point, I'm built around dagger greatswords so much, like with all my armor and stuff too. If I was going SNS, I probably would not be using range evasion at all. I'd be using range endurance. And so I'd have to redo all that. I'd have to redo all my traits, which wouldn't be the end of the world, but I don't want to do it. And if I can get a Tevent dagger, then the build is going to be a lot more fun. So I'm holding out. Holding out for a Tevent dagger. How much chance do you have to try things out before settling on a build? None at all. This game is the least forgiving game I've ever played when it comes to trying out builds. You have to pretty much know your whole build ahead of time. And if you don't already have like 2 months of experience playing the game before you set out to upgrade your gear, then you're just totally fucked. It's really bad design. That's probably my least favorite thing about the game. You more or less have to follow a builds that someone else put together when you're new. There's no real way to like try things out or figure things out. It's too difficult to get the gear. It's too difficult to put it all together in a way that works. It's too difficult to understand like what you need and what you don't need. You also have to like aim for very specific breakpoints on your stats here, which means you have to add up how much of those stats you're getting from each piece of gear and put the whole build together to make sure that you can reach those breakpoints. There's just way too much that goes into it. Yeah, it's not intuitive or new player friendly at all. It's brutal. Will my Zenith stars expire the 8-hour timer? I think you can spend them after the timer goes out, but I don't know. I don't work for Amazon, so I'm just going based off of how it worked in KR. Don't blame me if your stars disappear. I claim no responsibility for lost or missing stars. Are the world boss RNG box drops they announced going to be individual? Yes, it sounds like, so the thing that pops up at the end, where you get the little box with the resistance metal in it, it sounds like that has a chance to just have boss gear in it. So, I don't even know if that's tied to your contribution, or if it's just like a flat rate that they put in everybody's box. Maybe they'll add T3 dungeons for T2 gear then? Well, yeah, so in Korea the T3 dungeons have T2 gear in them, but also the T2 dungeons have T2 gear in them. But also the T2 dungeons have T1 gear in them. It's all kind of mixed together. But generally the higher tier dungeons have better drop rates of the lower tier gear. So even if it's like the same T1 items, you'll get them a lot more. So I expect they're going to do something like that for global T2. It's not going to have T2 gear, it's just going to have a lot more of the T1 gear. So it's better use of your tokens, but it's harder to do. And then maybe they'll add... There's a few T1 items that haven't been implemented yet, and there's also T1 items that are boss only right now that might not be boss only, because they might put them in those T2 dungeons. That's my guess. That would make the most sense to me. Do you reckon you'll roll spear when it comes out? Yeah, probably. I mean, I assume it's going to be overpowered, right? Is there ever a time when the newest weapon that gets released isn't overpowered? Surely it's going to be overpowered. Come up with some advice to play Greatsword Dagger as well, and in big PvP like Arc Boss, I find myself having trouble with targeting. Yeah. Yes, you do. There are no good options, man. There are no good options for targeting. The best thing that you can do as a Greatsword Dagger is to get to know all the most dangerous players in the other enemy guilds and feud them. And then you can either set your targeting to only select feuded players, or you can use Astral Vision to only select feuded players, and then you can use Classic Mode to select those targets from your feud list, or from your Astral list. But yeah, you basically have to make some use of the feud system in order to be effective at all. Because like the only way you can have an impact in large scale as Greatsword Dagger is if you're shutting down like really key staff bow or crossbow players. That's it. That's your only way of being relevant in large scale, is preventing the enemy top fraggers from playing the game. What do you think the first Siege War will look like? Zerged out or good fights? Most of our competition has fled the server, so I think there will be a little bit of zerging happening, but I think it's going to be kind of dull, sadly, on Chernobog. I think some of the other servers are going to have great sieges, but not ours. Just know this bop, dude. We help you. Just need door openers. I can solo it without door if you want. No one ever understands what I'm trying to offer here. Trade me spots. Does he not want to? Do normal? Okay. They don't want me to do it. Homie standing pretty close there. Yep, that's what I thought. Should have let me do it. This fight just hates melee so much. I gotta be careful using Cleaving Moonlight. Man, we're pumping though. This group has damage. Okay, I'm charge bugs. That's fine. Alright, yeah, this guy knows what he's doing. He knows what he's doing. We only need one open. This could be bad, though. I don't think he knows what's happening. We might need two opens for this one. Okay. A little sloppy, but carried with high damage. Doesn't bother me at all. Good job, team. Do you buy Saul the Blue Parchment from Contract Coin Merchants? I don't. No, I don't buy any of it. Should I? 25 a day. It's like one purple book. I don't know. For 375, it doesn't seem worth it at all to me. I would rather, yeah, I would rather just spend that on these pouches, these 200, the ones that my face is covering that you can't see. The 200 coin pouches, I think, is a better use of your coins. Are you a full-time gamer? We'll see. Depends on how many people subscribe, like, and share. Can I see your stat again? This thing? What do you want to see? On my battle pass, it says at the end of the battle pass season, star crystals are turned into quality recovery crystals. Not sure if that means as soon as it ends. I've spent all mine just to be safe. Yeah, I don't really know either. Probably just need to spend them. Oh, we got one. Psychosa, thanks for the prime. Now we're going full-time. When does the spear come out? Not for a long time. Korea doesn't have it yet, which means we don't have it plus another 3 months. On top of however long Korea doesn't have it for. Need to get Neuralink so I can target easier? No, Tevent is in 2 hours. I'm on Cherno 2, and that's my fear after the Exodus. Yeah, so my prediction is that we probably will keep Kieran reassembled on for this siege because we said we would, and it would be kind of dickish to drop them at the last second after we worked together for the last couple weeks. So we will probably keep them on for this siege, but I can't imagine the Alliance goes much further than the siege because the server's just not fun with, you know, with no one to fight. So hopefully they're not listening. I don't know if that's news. I'm not in charge. I'm just speculating. Do you think Amazon made the game better than it was on KR when you played it? Amazon didn't make the game anything. Amazon's just publishing. So they're not like changing the... They're not like rebalancing the classes or anything. It's still the same developers. Amazon just handles the localization and the publishing and, you know, the account management and all that stuff. I like Tico, the guy who's in charge of the localization and the one who like gives all our feedback to NCSoft. He put up a YouTube video yesterday. He seems to know what's going on. He seems to be somebody who like actually plays the game and pays attention and knows what the biggest issues are. So I think Amazon's doing a good job of like digesting player feedback and understanding what the issues are that need to make their way back to the developers. I also think that developers are doing a good job of listening to feedback even before the global launch, though. Like the last few updates in KR have been massively positive, headed in the right direction. Guess I'll end up having every bow staff player from Big Alliances feuded. Yeah, that's pretty much what I did. Every bow staff or every dagger crossbow. Those tend to be the most dangerous ones. I did for a while. I had like bow dagger and staff daggers feuded if they were top fraggers, but that dagger makes it a lot like half the time they just stealth out of your combo, and so I'm going for people that are more like pure DPS, or crossbow bombers is a big one. Being able to shut down crossbow bombers when you see them getting ready to jump in. How do I have so many Lucent? I play the game and I sell the stuff. Can't wait for T2. Need to explain to everyone that purple diamond means dodge roll. Dude, could you imagine trying to explain the mechanics of torture chamber to a pug group? It's not gonna happen. It's absolutely not gonna happen. The first month of T2 is gonna be a hot mess, dude. What do you think about no flash wave nerf? I mean, it's kind of overpowered. Kind of needs to be nerfed. Go talisman and finish contract? Are there no PvP events coming up? Is it only the low-level ones that I've filtered out? Okay. I'll go do the contracts. Yawn. How is there no guild event and no Dominion event on this whole... Oh, I didn't know there was a guild mission for Sanctum. I should have stayed down there longer. Yeah, I could make a Greatsword SNS build work with 4-piece shock. Really hard to say without playing around with it in Questlog. I feel like yes. I cannot figure out how to fix my hit. You probably wouldn't. You'd probably only play that with like 1,000 hit. That would be my guess. You would just be super tanky. And you would just ignore evasion players and just crush everybody else. You have 34k Lucent free to play? I do. Hit the likes? That's right. Smash that like button. How do you get enough ink to sell all the things you needed to sell? 20 to 200 Lucent blues to purples in 1 month of time. 20 to 200 Lucent blues to purples. Most of the things I sell are trade extractions. They're not... I don't need ink for those. The ink is only for lithographs. But you get 50 ink a week from the contract merchant. And then you get some amount from the Ornate Coin Shop, which is about to refresh, by the way. So if you guys have not cleaned this out, at bare minimum, I would buy all of the blessing pouches and all of the enchanted ink. And then pretty much everything on this row is good. The fishing bait is good. The extraction stones are good. And then the skill books. Definitely buy out the purple skill books. Like, this is going to refresh, what, tomorrow? 2 days? 2 days. So, yeah, like, purple skill books, pouches, ink, really good stuff. Don't buy any of this. You don't need it. But this stuff and the books, really good. The blue books are inefficient, but the purple books are really good. Rocking 500. You have 500 hit? I don't know what's going on there. I mean, I have... Yeah, I don't have hit on any of my armor. So if you're using Shock Commander, you could have a comparable amount of hit to me. My hit comes from the Greatsword passive. It comes from the weapons. I have a lot from Mordecai. Mordecai's 187. But you could also just, like, get more perception. My perception's really low. So you could just get more perception and have a lot of hit. My bracelet has hits. None of this stuff has hit. None of my other stuff has hit. So, yeah, you should be able to hit 1,000, get 1,000 hit, even if you don't really have it on your gear, just from traits and from perception. And, you know, maybe from one of your weapons.
When the ritual starts, the wizards of the Vernal Blessing Academy will redirect the transport crystal.
I feel like any SNS can work with 4-piece shock. It's a huge boost. Yeah, I think you would. I think you could definitely make it work. You just wouldn't be able to do much against evasion players. Will T2 feel better for Greatsword Dagger? Is it possible to get AoE burst maybe in T2? Is it strictly tied to Tevent? There's a Gaia Crash T2 Greatsword that's decent AoE. I haven't experienced it, so I can't really say how much better it feels. I played Staff in KR, so just spent 50 minutes doing the stupid pie chart boss to have everyone rage quit. Are you talking about Cursed Wasteland, the one that I was just doing? I can show you how to solo it. A lot of groups, if they're struggling, I'm like, listen, everybody just stand in one slice of pizza and completely ignore the mechanic and just let me do everything. And then if I can get them to actually read the fucking chat and understand what I'm saying, then it, you know, then it works. As long as they just let me handle it, then it works. They can just AFK, turn their brain off, DPS the boss. And the only possible thing that can go wrong is they either don't Q block the purple attack, or they drop the red swirling bomb on each other. But usually that's late enough into the fight to where I can still clean it up and get it done. Oh, there is a Dominion event. Okay. Blood Mushroom. Well, I'll help the guild a little bit so that I'm not a total freeloader. But then I'm going to go goof around on some level 30 Dominion events, I think. We'll do one turn in here and get some baskets of fruit. Just how strong is Chieftain Tolrin? I've done this event way too many times, you guys. I think I could recite the whole dialogue. Did you pick up every codex book in the world to get that many ornate coins? I only picked up the ones that I saw. I didn't actually hunt for them at all. I haven't followed any guides or anything. Yeah, there's way more books that I still haven't got. I just pressed F every time I saw something purple on the grounds. You get ornate coins for every maintenance. So that's a lot. Yeah, I haven't done anything special whatsoever to get ornate coins. So you guys should all have the same number as I do. Unless you just started the game late. How much is your melee crit hit with 30 dex only? My crit's pretty low, also because I don't have it on my Mordecai. So my crit is very low right now. It is 700. If I could go back and do it again, I probably would not have traded the Mordecai. I probably would have just used a Fury Warblade. And then... No, I don't want to be in your group. And then held out for an Adentis. I had some illusions that I was going to be like anti-hit in T1. And so that's why I built out the Mordecai. And then I kind of shifted gears over the last week or two. I kind of realized, like, hey, actually living is really cool, and I want to live. And so, instead of having a bunch of hit pieces, I have a bunch of, like, max health, melee evasion, range evasion, a bunch of that stuff on my gear. And so, I'm very hard to kill now, but I don't do as much damage as I would have if I had built out an Adentis, or if I had built out, like, an actual proper 1400 hit anti-melee build. Or anti-evasion build. So I probably would do things a little differently in hindsight. What do you think is the best stats for a healer? Strength. Healers really like strength. I know, it's counterintuitive, huh? I cannot hit 60 perception with my current gear. I'm missing traits on Greatsword. Well, even if you can't, I only have 30 perception right now. So if you should be able to still hit 1,000 hit with 30 perception, with absolutely no hit on your armor. As long as you have the traits on your weapon. And, you know, maybe like 1 or 2 weapons or accessories with hit, you should be able to get 1,000, even with Shock Commander. It should be possible. You could do 900 hit. 900's okay. It's, you know, whether it's 900 or 1,000, you're not going to be touching people with 2k evasion, right? Like, either way. It's going to be enough to kill people that are under geared or people that don't have evasion, and it's not going to be enough to kill people that do. So it doesn't make a huge difference if you only end up having 900. I'm not really paying attention. Can we do... I also don't really... I don't really want to do this event. I was just here to do the mission. Looks like it's almost done now, so we can leave. Alright, there we go. Mission's over. Can I get over there in 15 seconds? I don't think so. You're free! Oh, guys, I'm not gonna make it. I'm not gonna get my basket of fruit! No. Okay, let's leave. Do we want to do Desert Caravan or do we want to do Bloodbuster? You said you don't need the gear growth stone, so I wonder what's the best way to farm it. I had a tough time upgrading my purple weapon to +7 with just the ones you received through the game. You can get a ton from the Halloween event right now. Are you doing the Halloween event, the Halloween dungeon? Crossbow Dagger's opinion on T2. Definitely not as strong as it is in T1, but still S tier in PvE. How come the YouTube stream seems smoother than Twitch? That's a good question. What's going on there, Twitch? Early access got mailed a lot more than regular due to maintenances. Did we have a lot of maintenances in the first few days? I feel like we didn't. Europe did. I don't feel like NA did. It was pretty smooth the first few days. Made a lot of mistakes with Blessing and other things. I knew nothing about the game. Do you think making a new build is worth it in the long run, or is it always recoverable? I think you could make so many mistakes that it's going to be better to re-roll, but it would be hard to know that without seeing what mistakes you made. You know what I mean? It sounds kind of case by case to me. Oh my god, there's so many reds. Where did all these reds come from? I was not expecting there to be this many people at this event. I don't think we make it, boys. Alright. How many of them are there? 10? That's it. I'm going to take them all, one by one. Isolate and destroy. I'm going to take all their Moonlight Scales. What is the right sword to go for from Butcher? Rocking a level 0 Fury Warblade. Yeah, Fury Warblade is great if you're trying to actually do damage. That's the one for sure. The other one is like a tanking weapon, kind of. Okay, I'm seeing lots of blues. I'm seeing lots of red. I'm seeing my Ascending Slash not cast. I love when that happens. Are there any green players at this event? Like how it rooted him 3 feet away from where I actually hit him. Yo, that's crazy.
This round of deliveries has ended. The next one will be opening shortly. Please be patient. These people got
Outside the event and secret dungeons, I don't know any other ways. To get growth stones? You probably have a bunch of materials for them, dude. You just need to go put them together. Go talk to the weapon vendor. And you can see it's ore plus magic powder plus polished crystal. You probably have a bunch of those things just sitting around that aren't getting used. You can upgrade the lower tier ones too and use those. Are you buying your polished crystal from the guild merchant every day? Because that's a huge amount right there. And then you should be getting a ton of ore from your contracts if you're selecting that as the reward.
deputy of the castle merchants. A hometown request? I'll listen.
Do we think food does anything at these gear capped events? I feel like your gear's only kind of capped, because some people definitely still feel like very geared at these level 30 events, and I can't figure out why. Like, it says everyone has 330 hit, 330 evasion, but then I still miss against people, so how does that work? I think it's lying. So you used all your polished crystal and all your ore and all that stuff? What are you bottlenecked on? Which one of those did you actually run out of? Did you run out of the ore, did you run out of the crystal, or did you run out of the powder? Oh, this guy's got 11? Not for long, bozo. Finish him off. I got this guy. Go team. Oh, this guy's a staff wand. It's over. I lose. Help. Team, help. Abort. No, he's turning in. Don't let him do that. Brother, can my skills cast on this guy or not? Oh, he knocked me out of my smoke. It's over. Almost took him with me, though. You're out of the powder? Sounds like you need to dissolve some gear, then. So... go do some abyssal grind, get a bunch of blue helmets, and then trait them all together. So, like, see how I have this guy all filled in? I would want to totally just max this out, and then I'll get more powder dissolving it that way. Running staff wand, then I get bow dagger and greatsword SS run at me full speed in the arena. I have some evasion, so I love when they miss their finishing blow, like in Fireball or lightning their asses. Yeah, melee evasion is super good in arena right now. It'll totally grief all those SNS greatsword players who just run at you. We only have 181. That seems like not a lot. I don't know how many people are actually doing the objective. I certainly am not. Well, I'm running into the enemy. These guys came out of nowhere. Okay, red has 314, so that's like twice as many. I don't think we're getting first place here. I got the top ranking morph from Requiem Dominion last night. I was so proud of myself, dude. I was so proud. Purely from just killing people and taking their tokens. I didn't do any PvE. I was like, man, Greatsword Dagger, I'm never going to be top 10 at one of these events. But we did it. Number 3. Team rank 1, personal rank 3. I printed it out and I put it on my refrigerator. I called my mom and I said, Mom! Mom, I got number 3 with Greatsword Dagger! And she was like, that's nice, sweetie. I'm so proud of you. Yeah, Mom, get the camera! Are there arc bosses in Peace Zone for every player to take a hit on them? Yeah, the first Queen Bellinger that just spawned on Saturday was a peace version. It goes back and forth every week. So Tevent is conflict tonight, but next week it is peace, I think. I believe that's how it works. Asking because you said there was no need to spend ornate coins on it since we got plenty. I was wondering if I'm missing any contents, but I guess I'm doing fine. I mean, you might be missing something. If you're letting your abyssal tokens or your... Do I make it here? Oh boy. A lot of bad guys. If I stand still, maybe they'll forget that I'm here. I'm just gonna suicide on this dude.
This time we're accepting scales until the merchant caravan.
Oh, took him with me. Let's go. If you're letting your dimensionals or your abyssals cap out at all, then I would say that's a problem. If you're letting your contract rights cap out, you know, I would say that's a problem. If you're not doing your blue contracts, but if you're doing all that stuff, you should be pretty good on stones, especially with this event. This event, just tons of stones. Brother, I'm trying to do my Mystic Globe. Oh my goodness, so rude. I like how there's like 40 red players and like 6 green players at this event. Are there more Arc Boss coming? Not in Tier 1, no. Not in Tier 2 either, actually. I think the next Arc Bosses are in the level 55 expansion. Which is probably a good distance away still. Okay, red and blue are helping each other. Ugh, this event sucks. Let's go do mushrooms instead. Oh, it's only 3 minutes. Just did 67 abyssal contracts. Very tedious. Tedious? That's so much loot! Oh, 67 abyssal that's the dream, dude. I wish I had 67 contracts to run right now. You don't like running abyssals? You don't like just running in circle, exploding a bunch of loot pinatas, and getting hella loot and money? What would you rather be doing? Your dimensionals are capped? Ooh, yeah. I would definitely not let those cap. That's a really important resource. Just fight back, bro. I have no health. Why are you running? Just literally just turn around and kill me. Stop! Stop! He wants to turn in his one thing so badly. My guillotine bugged out. Alright, well, now I'm gonna turn it in for you. I didn't get to turn it in. That's his only shot at participation? It's a level 30 event, like you don't even get a resistance medal for this. What does he care about getting credit for participating? Actually, that's a good point. Can I go snipe a... Oh, we can get one from Akidu? Or should I do Festival? Oh, Festival doesn't even say it gives you one. Do you not get a resistance medal from Festival? Alright, back to Akidu, boys. Back to Akidu. Akidu. I have to say it like the voice actors say it. Akidu. The Akidu orcs. Alright, I got 1 minute to kill an orc and get over to number 2. He wanted the quest done? Oh, that's true. He might have been doing the quests. That's true. Sorry, dude. Sorry about the quest. You can do the quest when it's not a Dominion event. Like everybody else. Okay, so... this way, right? I'm gonna go up and around and... oh boy. 30 seconds. I don't think we're getting that medal. I kind of forgot that traveling through this place is impossible. Okay, well, minus 1 medal. Let's get some bloomed wild herb while we're here.
Great work, everyone. Here
Okay, more dungeons.
The operation is over. Good work, everyone. But the Archideu
Anything but cave.
here.
There's a schedule for the arc bosses so we can see when the next one respawns.
On you next time.
I don't know if you can see more than... So if you open the map and you click timetable, you can do daily, and it like kind of shows stuff. Okay, yeah, it shows. It at least shows the big bosses. Wednesday, Saturday, Wednesday, Saturday. I think it just keeps going like that. I think it's always on those days. I got Juno Greatsword, but it's a pain to trade. Yeah, Juno's a tough one. I don't know if I'd recommend it. I do have a builds for it on Questlog when I was playing around. It's really low crit though. You can get 50 strength, you can get 60 perception, but you have like no dex with Juno. I think it works if you're trying to make an anti-evasion builds. But for like most content, for most PvP, PvE, Juno's in a weird spot. I feel like a Dentist is just straight up better, and in a lot of cases even Fury Warblade might be better. And much cheaper. Added trait and lockstones, the crit, heavy attack chance, and hit chance. Well, there you go then. You're committed now. You used unlockstones for all three? I just don't think that's how orcs sound. Feel the flames' power! I'm an orc! This is how we talk! That's a little better. What days do you stream and what time? I stream any day that I'm not editing a YouTube video. And I usually start between 12 and 1 p.m. Pacific time. And then I go to around 6 or 7, sometimes 8 Pacific time. This group's got some damage. This game is one of the only MMOs that somewhat humanizes the orcs. Does it though? I mean, all the lore around the orcs is, hey, there's some orcs over there. We're gonna go kill them. Wait a minute, the orcs have magic? I thought they were too stupid to have magic. Okay, well, let's steal their magic from them and kill them some more. Man, why do the orcs keep raiding this village that we built 20 feet away from their ancestral homeland? That's really fucked up of the orcs to do that. Let's go destroy their whole society. I was farming the Phantom Tunic chest. Funny thing that I had Armor of the Resistance and Phantom Tunic never dropped, so I decided to transfer the coat of the Executioner and it fully. Yeah, I mean, I guess it all just comes down to how much of a hurry you're in. I look at it this way, the content phases are 3 to 4 months long, right? So For me, I can tolerate not having my gear for the first month, knowing that I'm going to have 3 months where I'm basically capped. 3 months is a long time to be capped. Like, that's a long time. So, but if you've like got to have your gear right away, then, you know, you got to do what you got to do. But if you're willing to wait, everything gets cheaper, everything gets easier over time. Do you get a medal if you leave the event? No, you have to be there when the event ends. But you can show up in like the last 2 minutes. Not quite like I did it. But if I had gotten there like 30 seconds sooner, we could have gotten a medal. It's really easy to do at Requiem. I usually go and snipe Requiem. Although a lot of times Requiem doesn't finish. So that's not good. Do you recommend Duke Fury Warblade or Duke Provoking for SNS Greatsword PvP? I think the Fury Warblade, well, I mean, my mentality is more around, like, damage and being a bruiser. I don't really play the build as a tank. I'm playing Greatsword Daggers, so it's kind of up to you. We got anything over there? Alright. Someone press F. Don't worry, I got it. I would always go with Fury Warblade, but I'm not concerned with tanking at all. Even if I played SNS, I wouldn't be concerned about tanking, really. I would just be a tanky Greatsword player. So I would always go with the Fury Warblade personally, but if you're more concerned with tanking, then you might go with the Provoking one. Orcs are so powerful, we keep losing Festival of Fire. Festival of Fire is such a bad event. Oh, man. All the co-op events, dude, they need some work. They need some work. Got 200 tokens on both Tyrant and Butchers. Well, at least now you can get some boxes to fill in the gaps. How have your feet been doing during longer streams? Did the standing desk have noticeable benefit? Yeah, it's completely night and day. I have, like, no issues now that I have the standing desk. I think it keeps me more alert, too. I feel like sitting down all day makes your brain slower. Less blood flow. That is quite the name. This guy's busy getting mushrooms. You want to do the boss, or you want to do some more gathering? Okay. Dude, my attacks are like really buggy today. I'm gonna have to relog. I'm getting a lot of action cannot be performed. Currently unable to do this. Standing next to the target, but he's somehow too far away. Oh, rip that guy. Is that our tank? No. That was our log outs. 2 minutes, 50 seconds. Okay, I think he crashed. You see how I casted Ascending Slash there and it lit up the icon, but it didn't use the ability? Like, what is going on? Go the other way, bro. Yeah, your body language is impossible. He's juking me. My ally is juking me. This guy says I crashed. You sure did, buddy. It's okay. I think you still get the chest. You hit the boss. That's all that matters. Just hop back in. Belts of Endless Slaughter. Dude, I've gotten that belt many times. Never got the weapons, though. It's fixed tomorrow? Is Requiem fixed? Is it actually in the patch notes? Let's read the patch notes. I have them up. I forgot to read them. I was going to read them on stream. What's the current items value and Lucent on the market? What's your ratio for extraction stones? For example, for rares, I'm going 5 to 1. I am going 2 to 1, but I have a lot of stones. I have 600 stones I need to get through. White Dagger main hand. For the movement speed and the all evasion skill masteries. Want to upgrade my accessory, but I really love the crit, cooldown, and set bonus on Rutain's trio. No, Rutain's is bad. It can't have traits. I mean, it's fine when you're first starting out, but trust me, once you get those skill damage boost traits on your accessories, you're never gonna look back at the Rutain's combo. Dynamic events Requiem of Light Festival of Fire completed the final tier should now grant personal completion rewards. Okay. Look at this gamer about to pass me in gear score. How's real life going, Zeal? As a 2300 staff dagger who just obtained a tubelic, is it short-sighted choice to sell the staff, heavy attack chance 5k Lucent, and fully trade out the rest of my gear? Tubelic is 5k for heavy? What? Yeah, I would sell the fuck out of that. How is it 5k? Are you sure you're looking at the right thing? Unless I get a dentist, I don't think that switching from Geno Fury to Geno Sword to Fury Warblade is worth it. Yeah, it just depends on your overall builds. It's really hard to say. Does the desk allow you to stand straight, or you need to be in awkward positions to properly use it? I can stand straight. Do I stand straight? No, I'm usually leaning, but I'm trying to be better about it. Yeah, look. Here, I'll stand straight. There, it works. With the current items, we just answered that. I'm noob in this game. I'd like to know if it's possible to transfer all the traits from a max weapon to another one. No, you can never transfer a trait. You can transfer the blessing. So when you transfer an item into another item, all the traits that you've leveled up will be deleted and converted into blessing. And then you can use the blessing to make it a little easier to get more traits, but it's not a one-to-one value. Got a whole trait in-depth guide if you are curious about learning more. Is your range evasion enough against in-game bows? Yeah, it is. I have like 1700-ish with my buff up. It's pretty solid. Do you stream on Twitch as well? I do. At this very moment. Making crazy health gains? Yeah. Losing some weight. Tubelic is bad for Staff Dagger. I would go for Umbramancer. Yeah, I mean, Talus if you can get it, but... Let me confirm. Yeah, confirm. I don't know if that Tubelic is ever selling for 5k. That doesn't seem right to me. I can't look at the actual bow. I'm trying to remember what Tubelic has on it. They got rid of the max range, right? It used to be really good in Korea because it had range increase on it. But then... Yeah, now it's got dex and cool. I mean, that's still pretty good. It's still pretty good. Crit chance up per 1 meter of distance between the user and the target. I think it's fine. I think it's a good option. I just think all the extra stats on Umbromancer is crazy. Having strength and perception on the same item, and in these values too. Um, isn't it like 7 and 8 when you level it up? It's a crazy amount of stats on one item. I mean, that's like having a band of universal power on your weapon. It's really good. Not as much cooldown though. But yeah, I mean, if you can get Talus, Talus is kind of the golden goose of T1. Tubelik 500 only? Okay, yeah, that sounds more like it. If you're planning on using Tubelik and you looted one with heavy attack, I would just trade it out because you got the most expensive part done already. Be nice if you included how much Lucent you would save on the spreadsheet. What do you mean? That's what that's the whole function of the spreadsheet, isn't it? What am I missing something? This is how much you save. If you buy the purples, you pay 500. If you do it this way, you pay 200. You save 300. You want like another? I don't know how you would. I mean, the whole point of this is that it compares every method to every other method. So, like, I don't know how the sheet would tell you, like, save compared to what. I could put something that says, oh, you save compared to buying purple, but, I mean, you could just do that yourself just by looking, right? And this way you can compare it to every other method, too. Tubelik is PvE staff. Any rumors of any alliance servers transferring to fight y'all? The whole opposition left right when I got to the server? No. No, Halloween was memeing about bringing over Hose Mad to fight us, but I feel like it was a pretty obvious bait. I think a lot of the Ethereum people fell for it, but it seemed pretty clearly like they were just goofing around. I don't think anyone wants to fight us. Tubelik is best for staff bow since you're max range, but Umbra is better for staff dagger since you want to have daggers out. Well, you're max range in theory. In practice, you might not always be max range, and you might get more value out of just having the consistent stats. I think they're both good options. If I was playing it, I would go for Umbromancer personally. I'll be switching to Greatsword Dagger from Expo, and can Fury Warblade really carries me into late game? Do I have to grind for Tevent or Juno, etc.? Fury Warblade is very good. It's a really good dungeon item. The only items that you could argue are better are a Dentist, for sure, is better. But other than that, like, you could make a case for Juno or Morokai, but it's not obvious. There's a lot of builds that would prefer Fury Warblade even over Juno or Morokai. So, yeah, you can definitely use Fury Warblade for all of T1. How much Lucent you need to spend in order to make a blue piece of gear, max blessings, you can transfer it to Epic? That would depend on the piece, and that would depend on your server, and that would depend on a whole lot of things, but we have a spreadsheet that'll calculate it for you. Thanks suggest people to never go Tubelik for PvP. It's a PvE staff, and to build Umbra or Talus. Yeah, I think I agree with that. I think Mr. Dank is correct. Do you think worth Litho Purple for 600? Probably, yeah. Unless it's a weapon. If it's a weapon, 600 is not enough. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm randomly under attack. Just trying to chill somewhere with a nice view. Read the patch notes. Need the spreadsheet linked. You can either go to the video I most recently posted on YouTube, or you can go to Twitch and type exclamation traits. What do you think if they reduce the contracts you get by half but double their rewards? Yeah, anything that reduces the number of contracts you need to run in this game would be good. I think contracts are a bad system. I think the blue ones are okay. I think the regular resistance contracts are pretty dull. And if they were to reduce the amount that we have to do, that would be a good thing. Used to watch you a lot for help on Worker Empire stuff in BDO. You're super smart when it comes to calculators and efficiencies. Glad to see you on Throne doing the same thing. Yeah, and my Excel skills have leveled up since then. Man, that spreadsheet is so good, you guys. That trait spreadsheet. I think some of you don't understand. I think some of you don't understand how good it is. Save you millions of dollars. Alright, Throne and Liberty. Downtime begins at 10:30 PT on October 30. Last 6 hours. Battle Pass. Phantom Tracker Star Season will start October 31st. Featuring new emotes, an Amatoy, and an outfits, among other useful items and materials for your journeys in Silesium. The Lucent Shop has been updated with a new outfit, morph, and Amatoy to match your seasonally spooky vibe. Field Boss. Increase the rate of the boss portal scaling to amount of players participating, providing more instances to spread players between fights and increase chances to earn contribution rewards. So this is really interesting because it implies that you do not have a... Like, you don't have your own instance of an opportunity to get loot from a boss. It implies that the loot has a... That the boss has a pool of drop rates that is being split between the number of players hitting him. Because they're solving this by adding more bosses, right? So the only way that more bosses would equal more loot is if the boss himself has like a drop rate that's being split rather than everyone hitting the boss has, you know, X amount of chance to get loot. So that's really interesting. Added epic reward selection chests that have a chance of being acquired when receiving participation rewards from a field boss contribution. The boxes allow players to select from any of the epic items boss has a chance of dropping. This seems like it's going to destroy the economy. I'm not sure what's going on here, unless this is like a 1 in 100,000 chance and they just are putting it here to like help people cope. I hope that's all it is. I hope this is like a fake, like 1 in a gazillion thing that people aren't actually going to get, because this will just completely destroy the boss gear economy. I don't know. I mean, I'm sure some people would be happy about that. Would be happy about boss gear, you know, dropping down to 500 Lucent. But personally, I like the fact that there are at least a handful of items that are still difficult to get. And the field boss loot is the only items in that category. There's not that much of it. So I hope they don't just completely trivialize it with this patch. But yeah, we'll see. Dungeon Death's Abyss fixed an issue that allowed Karnix to be defeated by gravity. Very funny bug. They should have kept it in. They shouldn't have fixed it. Boo. L patch. Combat. The crowd control immunity gauge will now fill more quickly when players are targeted with multiple crowd control effects at the same time. Did you guys know this game had a crowd control immunity gauge? Who gives a fuck? Give people more gear? Well, if you give people more gear, it makes the gear less satisfying to acquire. So, I mean... yeah, everyone just log in the game and you've got 3,700 gear score. And then we'll have more fun, right? Except that's not how it works. It's the process that is the fun part. Most of the time when you get capped out on gear, you actually get kind of bored. Because you're like, well, now what do I do? doesn't exist. I always see it fill up half before my screen goes gray. I didn't know it had crowd control immunity. Yeah, what is... It must be like 30 cc's before it gets filled. I mean, I've been stunned for 20 seconds straight in this game. So I don't know what it takes for you to... Like, I can't imagine a scenario where you're even alive long enough to fill it up. I've never seen a crowd control immunity effect of any kinds. That I did not know the game even had one. But apparently it will fill up faster now, so maybe we'll start to see it. Adventure Codex increased the amount of experience awarded from completing Adventure Codex objectives. I think that only matters if you're still leveling to 50, right? Experience. I don't see anything about loot, so. Event dungeons. Active party recruitment posts or matchmaking queues for special event dungeons will now cancel automatically if the event dungeon ends before recruitment is fulfilled. Can they do this for regular dungeons too? Yeah, I don't know why this would work differently for event dungeons than it does for regular dungeons. That's kind of weird. Wouldn't this be... Alright, whatever. Good change, I guess. Equipment tooltips, new option added to preview and item stats at maximum enhancement. That's really nice, actually. That's really nice. This is one of the only things that I felt like I had to go out of the game to look for. I always had to use like Questlog or TLDB to do this, so being able to do it in-game is nice. Guilds. The guild window now displays a guild's overall guild points, as well as the amount of guild activity points and individual guild member activity points that contribute to it. The guild window now displays a guild's overall guild points, as well as the amount of guild activity points and individual guild member activity points that contribute to it. I have no idea what they're talking about. Do you guys know what they're talking about? Tevent is in 1 hour. Are they just talking about the activity ranking of everyone in the guild totaled up? So they're putting this in the guild window, I guess? I'm not really sure what they're talking about. Okay, probably not important. Chapter 6, restoring the heart golem's heart inspection now properly displays the second label. Crafting added crafting recipes for Queen Bellendir and Tevent equipment items. What if they reduce it from KR? What if instead of 180 they end up adding it in the patch and it's only like 50? Can you imagine? I don't think that's out of the question. They dumbed a lot of stuff down for global. I don't think it's out of the question. We'll see. Chat, customized chat tabs now remain in place if you leave a group or guilds. Okay. Guilds, creating guilds with multiple characters on the same account no longer defaults those guilds to friendly. Okay. Characters now have tighter turning radius when changing direction using mouse and keyboard controls. Did you guys feel like your turning radius was bad? Does this mean I can run in a smaller circle when I spin my mouse? I'm not really sure what it means. I feel like it was okay. The global TNL codec shows 100. Well, the TNL lithograph also shows... The global TNL lithograph codex also shows, you know, Band of the Chosen One and a bunch of stuff that's not actually in the in-game lithograph, so... I don't know. We'll see. Do it when morphed. How many hours before the update are we? The update is in 6.5 hours, I think. And it will be down for 6 hours. which is a good EST server for ping. I would assume all the EST servers have about the same ping. They're probably all hosted in the same location. Applied latest localization updates, including the correction of several untranslated strings. Controller, multiple controller functionality, improvements for navigating menus and gameplay interactions. Arc bosses, fixed rare issue that caused a crash during the Queen Ballandir events. Not that rare. Dynamic events. Here's the big one. Requiem of Light, Festival of Fire, completing the final tier of these events shall now grant personal completion rewards. Yay! They did it. It only took a month and a half. The Grim Reaper outfit now properly changes the boot color when dyed for all body types. Very important, that one. Chat added 2 more customizable tabs to the chat interface, increasing the total to 3. Health bars, character health bars now display the amount of shielding. That's actually pretty big as well. That's going to be really big in Arena. Right now in Arena, if you take the shield when you spawn, it's just kind of like there. You don't know how big it is or how long it's going to last. Targeting, slightly increased the size of UI indicator for currently selected targets. This is good, but I don't know if the size is the problem. I feel like it's just visually bad. I feel like it's just hard to see when there's a lot going on your screen. I think it just needs to look different. I don't know if it needs to be bigger. I think it just needs to be different and better. Stellar Vision added number indicators to the target list in the Stellar Vision window. I thought we already had that. Doesn't it already show 1, 2, 3, 4? Not really sure what that means. Party matchmaking window now retains previous settings when reopened. Okay. Console UI, multiple menu and UI improvements for console UI experience. Okay. They couldn't bother to type them out. Console players can't read anyways. Okay. Yeah, I mean, a little light. These patches are a little light, but there's some big stuff in here. This is huge. Actually being able to do the events and have them not break is huge. And then the field boss stuff is huge as well. The extra portals, and we'll see. This is either going to completely shatter the field boss economy, or it's going to be non-existent, and it's going to be like a 1 in a million, and nobody's ever going to get it. So we'll see which direction they go with that one. They don't tend to make like super big knee-jerk changes to this game, so I imagine that the odds of this box are going to be microscopically low, and that this is really just here to make people feel better. Can't sell the trait from the free boss gear? Yeah, but still, I mean, if this has an even remotely decent chance, if this is like even a 1% chance, that's going to remove so much of the demand for trait. You can choose which one you want. So like every time that happens, that's one of those traits that's not being purchased off the market. Even if you can't sell it, you're still picking the one that you need for your items, and you're planning ahead. You're like, you get a boss drop and you're like, oh, I can't afford to trait this. I'll just wait until I get a box and then I'll use that to unlock. So it's definitely going to affect the economy. The click registration is poor. Sometimes I click someone and it doesn't work. It's very poor. Yeah. They need to make it so we can click nameplates. They need to do a lot with targeting though. Do you feel like you have to point too far down to target sometimes? Yes. Yeah. You have to like click someone directly on like their rib cage, or else it doesn't target them. You have to hit them center of mass. The traits will be random. Yeah, they'll be random, but it's still going to have an effect. It's still going to have an effect, and if it's a somewhat common thing, it's going to have a massive effect. Because right now, there's hardly any. You guys got to understand how few of these are being inserted into the economy right now. Like, how many Gauntlets of the Field General are being put on the market on a daily basis? 3? Like 3 a day? It's not that many. So if suddenly hundreds of boss boxes are coming into the game every day, I mean, even if you can't sell the trades, people are still going to open the boxes. They're still going to be using them. Like, there's still going to be much less of a demand for people to buy those things. Currently, Gauntlets of the Field General has 1 ranged evasion, 3 melee evasion, and 0 of everything else for extracts. So, I mean, it's not a lot. We'll make it easier and easier to get T1 stuff. We'll be able to percent to find them. Yeah, that's what we don't know. That's what we don't know, but I'm predicting it's going to be pretty low. 20 to 30 item put in auction house every boss. Not 20 or 30 of the same item, though. Maybe across all the different items the boss can drop, there's 20, but there's definitely not like 20 Field General Gauntlets going up every time Eridus dies. When do you think T2 will come out? Any speculation? T2 Dungeons will come out in November. T2 Gear probably won't come out until next year. I would speculate February. Based on the roadmap and the content pace that they said. Ah, damn it, dude. I miss Silius again. I keep getting distracted. Should we go to Saradoma? Nobody contests Saradoma anymore, so it's kind of boring. Let's go take a look. It's nice if you get the drop, you actually get to keep it instead of going to guilds. I'm fine with it being really rare. Yeah, I think if it's really rare and it's just like a little way that you can kind of play the lottery by showing up to a boss, I think that's fine. But I think if it's too common, then with the amount of people that are killing these bosses, like even a 1% chance will completely change the whole market landscape. Because of how many people show up to each boss. So if it's like a 1 in 1,000 chance, then we might be okay. But anything more than that, I mean, it's literally going to turn the whole landscape upside down. Should have been a boss pity. Yeah, I kind of agree. I kind of think a pity system would be better. That's basically what these special resistance medals are. You know? So they could either do it so that, like, maybe 500 special resistance medals is a piece of boss gear. They could use the same thing, or they could just create a different one that's boss only, and then, like, you know, each boss drops one of them, and once you save up 100, you can pick whatever piece you want. I think like either one of those would have been fine. I'm on the Chernobog server. Are you main-handing daggers with your builds? Yes, the daggers are always out with this build. There's no point for the Greatsword to be out unless you are about to pop your Guardian. Or if you want to look cool. Definitely looks cooler to have the Greatsword out. I wish I could have the Greatsword out. Having the daggers out is kind of... kind of feminine, you know? Did we already roll? I don't know what's going on. Let me help the voice. $97. $94. Hey, dude, everybody beat me. 85, 86. I rolled up with an 83 thinking this thing was mine. Every single person got an 86, 89, 97. Are the top 5 guilds in Chernobog all allied together? And then complain like where they say no one contests? I mean, yeah. Yeah, pretty much. The problem is the reason that the top 5, well, it's not 5, it's 4, but the reason the top 4 guilds on Cherno are allied is because every other guild has left the server. So I don't know. I guess you could say it's our fault, but I mean, we only had 4 guilds, which is the number of guilds that an alliance is supposed to have. So, I mean, this is the server originally where like Cannon and all of his people were. There were a bunch of other alliances here. They've all left. It's pretty much just us now. And then on top of that, the 4 guilds that we do have, technically only 2 of those guilds are Ethereum. We sent 2 of our guilds to Amos, and then we picked up 2 of the local Cherno guilds who needed an alliance that were still on the server. So it's not even a full Ethereum alliance. I mean, happens all the time in games like this. Yeah. I was a little bit surprised at the extent to which absolutely no one in the entire NA East wanted to even like attempt to fight us, though. It was a little, I mean, there's other regions. I'm hearing about these like Russian megazergs that have like 12 guilds. There's nothing like that in North America. Nobody gets along enough for that over here. Do you think you'll get contested for Tevent? I mean, people will try, but we won't really get contested. Like, people will show up with 30 and they'll just explode, and then they'll just throw their body at it until it dies. Own player base kills its own game. Well, what do you think we should do? What do you think we should do? You think we should disband the guilds? Modern NA MMOs are Care Bears. I mean, I think we'll go from 4 guilds down to 2 guilds after the siege, but we can't just bail on our allies right before siege. That's super toxic. Remove all alliances? That's not the player's fault, though. The alliance system isn't the player's fault, that's the developer's fault. I'm definitely for them removing alliances. I'm 100% in support of them removing the alliance function entirely. I think that would be an excellent change. Challenge each other. Well, that's kind of boring, dude. I mean, we don't want to fight ourselves. Or sit here and complain? Okay, well, I'll go with that one then. There's 2 other stacked TPH guilds on another server. Yeah, the guild did split in half, and we did fight ourselves. It's just not fun, dude. Fighting yourself isn't fun. I don't know if you've tried it or not, but it's kind of unsatisfying to fight your friends and to, like, only do, like, in-house scrimmages. It just doesn't hit the same. Like, people don't go to pay to, like, watch, you know, a football team scrimmage against itself. They pay to go watch it fight another team. It's just not, like, it's just way more boring to fight yourself. How about limiting guilds to 50 players? I don't think that solves the problem. You still have 200-man alliances. Apparently, in some of the inter-server content on KR, they limit you to 40 players out of 70. And so you don't necessarily have to have like a super sweaty roster because almost half your guild is benched anyways. So you just need like moderately good attendance and you can be competitive. So I think something like that is good when it comes to boonstones. But when it comes to world PvP, I mean, all they can really do is dissolve the alliance system. I don't see any other solution. Wouldn't it be really shit if there were 12 guilds fighting for the same boss and no one is allies? Maybe. I think they'd probably have to increase death timers a little bit, but then that might just make people turtle harder. There's a lot of changes that they would kind of have to make synergistically. I think expanding the amount of space. Sorry, I didn't want to let Revik get comboed there. I kind of couldn't tell which one was on the ground at first, so I just went for it. I think there's a lot of changes they could make that would work synergistically. If they increase the arena around the boss so that people couldn't turtle, and then doubled the death timers, I think that would make the engages a lot more decisive, and then you could like actually win. But even then, yeah, if you had too many people show up, then there would be like a huge first mover disadvantage. And so it would punish the players that were being more active, because you would go in and wipe the enemy team, but you would lose, a third of your people. And then the next group would come in and you'd have 2/3 and they'd be full. And so they would win. And then the next group would, and so you'd be some weird daisy chain. So yeah, I think it's tough. I do think that increasing the size of the fights would tremendously help though. I mean, part of the problem here is that we're funneling everyone into one little area. And then we want like all these different guilds and all these different alliances to contest each other. And then the death timers are 10 seconds. And it's like, okay, what are we doing? I think if we were fighting over a much bigger area, it works well for Siege, because for Siege, you're spread out among like this whole area. It works a lot better. The field bosses, I don't know, dude, like, they just cram you into such a small area. I don't know what the solution is. On YouTube, how do I get the trait calculator? It's in the trait upgrading guide. So if you just click on the channel and find that video, it's in the comments, or it's in the description. You're probably going to have to watch the video anyways. I don't think this calculator will make sense without it. Unless you're a seasoned spreadsheet veteran. Same guy from our guild got Tevent Greatsword and Queen's Staff. What are the chances? Well, he must be pumping, dude. I hope you guys are giving that guy some love, because he's obviously carrying the guild if he's getting both those drops. Do you have any insight on why my weekly vendors didn't reset with the weekly reset? The weekly reset for your missions and the weekly reset for your vendors are not the same right now. They changed them last patch and now they're different. I don't really know what's going on. We also had 2 weekly resets this week. There was like one when the patch came out, and then there was another one during the normal time. I don't know. It was weird. I don't know what's going on with the weekly resets. I don't know if they're changing them on purpose or what. We had a fight at Talus last night. We were super outnumbered. The larger arena made it way harder, but we still won, obviously. Are you guys actually getting competition now, Ked, over on Amos? Man, who would have thought that Amos would end up being the server that had the fights? Yeah, so my weekly reset, does it say actually? Did vendors tell you? I think they only tell you the daily. Yeah, who knows? Who knows when the weekly reset will be? Maybe we'll get a 3rd weekly reset. Y'all gonna stay on Chernobog or bounce after the cooldown? I think we're gonna bounce after the siege. But we'll see what happens. We might just dissolve the alliance after siege. I'm not the one who decides, so I'm just guessing. Greatsword staff? Who's the greatsword staff? Oh, the guy getting all the loot? Well, that explains it. Yeah, he's playing the chosen build. No wonder he's getting all the loot. Are we still pretending like greatsword staff isn't the best build in the game? Need some of those conversion stones? Yeah, same, dude. Same. You and me both. Come back to Carnix. What's the PvP ecosystem on Carnix looking like? I should tally how much Solent I spend teleporting every day. It's got to be in the hundreds of thousands, right? Like, I don't think it's trivial. Bro, even Shadow Crypt is dead now. Oh, wait, I see the mobs moving. Oh yeah, somebody's up here. Okay, never mind. What's he dancing around for, bro? Get me all excited. Dead game, dead server for sure. Normally there's at least like a group of 5 camping the doorway. Okay, nothing lands. There we go. Devastating Smash sometimes just doesn't work. Like, it doesn't say miss or anything, it just doesn't work. Are we rocking the pumpkin food for Tevent? Is that the way? Species damage boost? Yo, how do you get that? Do I have that? Do I have to use chocolate? Alright, here, let's go do some cooking, I guess, since there's no PvP anymore. There's a 4-man guild, Fury Corrupt Gang, can't remember the 4th. There's a 2-man alliance. Oh, I don't think Fury will fight us. I think those guys will all transfer away if we come. Drought currently owns Castle. Fury can test them a lot. There's a 2-guild alliance that's holding Castle. From outside perspective, looks like a lot of PvP at conflict. We could take 2 guilds over there. That might be fun.
The blessings of honor.
Okay. Spooky pumpkin pie. Oh, that's just for farming. 75 hit, 5% crit damage. 5% crit damage is not nothing. Would I value that over heavy attack chance, though? I feel like no. I could make a thrilling papilote. These guys are running ardent jelly, which I cannot make. I'm only level 17. Should we try to pump 3 levels of cooking real quick? I could make like 10,000 healthy milk. No, I couldn't. I don't have the routine. Ooh, if I get level 18, I can just make a bunch of steaks. That'll probably jump me to 19. It's only 1 level 19 recipe. I don't know. I was just going to use heavy hit food. Is there one that's heavy hit and crits? There's boss damage, hit chance, critical chance. No, I think the heavy's still better. We don't need any hit. Yeah, this is the one right here. This is the one. This is the PvE food. Okay. All right. Apparently it takes bird meat. Sure, let's make 3. That should be enough. I got a great success. Oh, I'm selling that for 100 lucent. Let's go. They're actually 30 lucent each. Whoa! Cooking! Cooking, boys! You guys want to know how to make money? Try cooking. Try cooking. Try killing birds. What do you think of the devs nerfing healers, especially Bo Wand? Eli is not very happy about it. Well, what I think is that healing is overpowered and boring. And I'm happy that it's nerfed. Sorry, Eli. I love you, Eli. But I hope they completely ruin all your builds. Invest in chicken. Healing in arena is nuts. Yeah. All PvP games with dedicated healers are bad. That is the one true take. And anyone who disagrees with me is wrong and not a PvPer. You're welcome. Someone had to say it. Healing absolutely ruined New World PvP. Do you guys have any idea how fun New World was? When you couldn't just chain heal all the time? It was way better. 1,000 times better. Hello for Scottish Highlands. Sorry to get you back on the topic of participation chests. I was driving home from work listening to you on YouTube. Couldn't stop to send a message. Don't you think they're doing accelerated accusations simple to catch up with content so we can be equal to KR? They said from that that is the target of global? No. No, I don't think they've said that. They said that it's going to be 3 to 4 months per content phase, and they said that they're going to give us T2 dungeons without T2 gear. They've also said that they're going to do challenge dungeons probably and separate those from the rune system. They've said they're going to do the rune system and the trait resonance system and substance transformation all in different ways than how it was initially released in KR that are going to slow things down, and that the pace of progress on the server is going to be based on where people are at. It's not at all based on trying to catch us up to KR. I don't think that's their goal. If that was their goal, they'd be releasing stuff way faster than they currently are. I think the pacing right now is actually really good. It should be nerfing wand healing and adjusting time to kill. Well, I would like to see time to kill be a little slower, but anytime you make time to kill slower, you indirectly buff healing. So if they're going to make time to kill slower, they also have to nerf healing. Otherwise, people just won't ever die. Love your trade explanation guides. Thank you. No problem. Healing is still busted in New World? Well, yeah, because they don't know how to balance it. But also, it's just any dedicated healer class, especially in an action combat game, it's just not a good idea. I think it works okay in tab targeting games. You know, it's not as bad in this game as in other games because it's tab target. But yeah, personally, I just think it makes the game a lot more boring when you can just sit there and heal yourself up while 5 people are hitting you. I don't know what group I'm supposed to be in for Tevent. We have PvE groups set up, isn't that sad? Wait, there's a code? Where do you put in codes? Am I supposed to show this to you guys? Whoa! Haunted Harvest Night. I can vendor it for 60k? A frame commemorating the haunted harvest where the living and the dead come together. It is rumored that ghostly faces are often seen lingering. Can I... How do I wear it? I didn't know such a thing existed in this game. I want this code. Sorry, members only. Everyone pausing and rewinding right now. I'll put it in chat. I'll put it in chat. Am I going for a dentist? I am not. I kind of wish I had, though. Now it's too late. I've already built around Mordecai. What are you doing every day to gain that much lucence? Extracting traits and selling them, mostly. Lots of dagger buffs and wand dagger. Only healing builds that didn't get nerfed. So they only nerfed people who were playing wand and bow together, right? Did they nerf any wand healing just on its own? Oh god, my character's so ugly. I forgot how ugly he was. Wait, I can take a picture? Oh, they mean of my character. Can I take it of myself? Yeah, how do I use my real face? It can't be worse than that guy. One staff and one bow. How did one staff get nerfed? Oh, I have a spooky frame. That's so cool. Get online for Tevent. We only have 47 online. Holy shit. Guild's dead. Do I have to put this group together? I'm definitely not in charge of a PvE static, but somebody is not sending invites. Groups are in Onyx announcements. Yeah, okay, let me just scroll up and find that post from 6 days ago. Thanks, Static. Very helpful. Okay, quick shift. They're supposed to invite me. Is he even on? I was gonna say, is that his in-game name? Because I don't think I've ever heard of this person. Oh, our daggers sold? How much do I get? What's 3,700 divided by 70, you guys? Where's my mail? Send me my mail. Can you reply to my comment up, please? You might just have to post it again, dude. I personally hope that weapon balancing patch will include some weapon damage ranges. Oh, Yaiba? Wait, are we in the same PvE static too? Weapon balancing patch will include some weapon damage ranges. When you look at base damage on Greatsword, Staff, Bow, and Dagger, quite close to them, have way higher ranges in the same tier than other weapons. Well, you don't want, like, SNS to do a lot of damage, do you? I mean, it's already overpowered enough. I feel like Greatsword, Staff, Bow, and Crossbow can all do crazy damage. And then Wand does crazy healing and can kind of do crazy damage if you build it, like, with a dagger. And then Dagger sort of just, like, fits in with anything. It makes it hit you even harder. It makes you stay alive. And then SNS, you know, obviously just makes you invincible. Counter barrier. I don't know. I don't really feel like there's any weapons that just don't do damage. Or at least don't do as much damage as they should. How to counter Greatsword Dagger as Bow Staff. You either need to build melee evasion, or you need to learn how to block. So when they Shadow Strike you, you need to go like that and mess up their combo. And you also need to get this purification stone from the Sundries merchant, which will cost you 60 abyssal aggregate. Okay, in 6 hours I can get more stuff. Okay, 20 minutes until Tevent. What should we do in the meantime? Go farm temple? I got nothing to do. Let's go do something. Let's go do something for 20 minutes, I guess. Let's go be productive. How come we don't do PvE static for all peace bosses? Probably because not enough people logged on. Use the self-diffusion skill if you're a crossbow. I don't think the bow staff player has a crossbow, but I'm sure he appreciates your suggestion. You could kill them. Most Greatsword Dagger players don't have... I knew it was going to be Alter in my spot. Most Greatsword Dagger players don't have magic defense. You could also just kill them before they can kill you. Who's this? You grouping with a random down here, Alter? I'll leave those up. We'll go to the next room. 2 options on max roll. Would you go evasion or endurance on bow dagger for small scale? I don't know bow dagger very well. For small scale, I feel like melee evasion is more or less mandatory. I mean, you can build endurance, but as a bow dagger, like, you're still going to get targeted. And melee players are just going to sit on you and stun you 50 times in a row. Like, you might live, but it's still going to be pretty unpleasant. If you really are gearing for small scale, I would probably want to get some form of melee evasion. Well, not some form. You would need a lot of it. Can't have some form of it. Gotta have all of it. Wish I would have built for melee magic evasion. I think about that sometimes, yeah. Like, would I have been better off with magic evasion versus range evasion? I don't know, though. I feel like the grass might be kind of greener on that one. Surviving crossbow bombs is really nice. And not getting hit by tornado is really nice. So, I'd probably just be complaining about those instead of complaining about staffs. Flash wave. Dodging flash wave is really nice. It's like the craziest skill in the game right now. Where is my... Did I use it all? Got one more, and that's mastery bonus. Yeah, whatever. stun locked and dead every time. You can be really tanky as a bow player with endurance. Like you can definitely get to the point where you can survive a greatsword combo. But you're still gonna have to go through the whole motion of getting knocked over and then standing up and getting stunned and then getting stunned again, and it's not gonna feel great, but you can survive. I think if you have a really good tank with you that knows how to like peel melee players off of you, then that makes endurance a lot better of an option, because then you're not relying on just dodging the stuns. You're relying on like, okay, I got stunned and I have enough endurance to survive as long as my tank gets over here and, you know, shoves the greatsword off of me so that I can do something. So if you're like playing in a pre-made 3v3 team and you know your tank and you just get it peeling, then I think that makes endurance a lot more valuable. If you're like trying to solo queue and just play with randoms, then you like kind of have to have melee evasion, honestly. You're just food otherwise. Anytime, like if you guys were watching yesterday when I did some arenas, anytime there was a DPS on the other team that didn't have melee evasion, I just didn't let them play the game. Like every time they came down, I was on them. They were getting comboed, they were dead. Like, you know, the endurance might make it so that they can live through that, but I'm just going to combo them again 10 seconds later, and then this time, you know, they're going to be dead unless they manage to get a heal. Well, solo player, I created my own guild so I can move through the quest line. I'm staff dagger and magic range evasion, but I can't get away from greatsword builds. Yeah. You are always going to get focused as a staff dagger. You still have stealth, so you can stealth out of the stun. You can block when someone shadow strikes you. You got to get in the habit of blocking. If you don't learn how to block when someone's going to shadow strike you, you're never going to, like, that's the biggest filter right there. Is when you hear that noise, you block. And you have to be really fast about it. If you know the player's coming for you, it's not that hard. Like, it's not that... Most greatsword players aren't that tricky. They hold W and then they jump on you. Like, you know it's coming, so you just gotta be ready to block it. And that'll completely wreck their combo. And most greatsword players will completely short circuit if you wreck their combo. They'll just be like, what? It didn't work, what do I do? And they'll just run in circles and die. It's not the cleverest bunch. Melee players, not the cleverest bunch. Not known for their creativity or their problem solving. Mainly just known for hitting the same series of buttons in the same order every single time. And not adjusting to any other scenarios. I feel like CC is too much in this game. What do you think? Nah, I think it's fine. If they were going to adjust CC, they'd have to completely rework melee. They'd have to make your melee range at least double what it is now. And they would have to make a lot of the melee abilities work while moving. It would be a whole different game. The only way that Greatsword works at all is because it can CC you. That's kind of the whole point of the builds. The build wouldn't exist if it wasn't for the CC. It wouldn't even be remotely viable. I got smacked by a staff bow a few days ago. The guy was built in a weird way. Range seemed to miss all the hits. When our tanks jumped on him, he somehow managed to ice tomb 3 of the an instant. That was odd. I don't know how a single target ice tomb could tomb 3 players at the same time. Yeah, I don't think you can. I think you can only do it to one person, right? Ice Tomb has a spec that makes it so if they are affected by weaken and move slow, they get binded. Yeah, you can root multiple people. I don't think you can actually tomb them, though. How much the standard evasion for PvP now? I don't know if there's a standard. More is better. I would say 15 to 1600 is the absolute minimum. For melee, you're going to want a little bit more. But Yeah, if you can't get 15 to 1600, then it's not really worth building at all. Right now, I'm at about 1900 melee, and when I have my buff up, I'm at about 1700 range. You could go higher than that. I would have to make some trade-offs that I don't want to make to go any higher. I already had to make a few trade-offs just to get to how much I have, so... These guys are in Canary for Tevent. Yeah, maybe I should do that too. Full PvE setup, highest DPS, do not hit any players. This is gonna be fun. Cubester, thanks for the gift. It's Imperial welcome to the Tinfoil Brigades. I've learned so much watching your stream. I really appreciate you. Thanks, Rams. Thanks for saying that. Are you a melee player? Who, me? No. You're a melee player. Don't call me a melee player. What's the best way to farm Lucent? Just all the stuff you do normally, but you sell the items afterwards. Dungeons and... Your Ice Tornado does so much more than mine. I thought the skill was trash. Looking at yours makes me want to use it again. It only looks good because I'm using it on level 30 mobs. These are little baby mobs. It's kind of just there as filler. I think one Gaia Crash does more damage than the whole channel of Ice Tornado. Also, sometimes I press it twice and it breaks, like I did just now. Freshness 1, do you think endurance or evasion? Endurance. Yeah, you can live through everything in that build. If some melee player wants to sit there and stun lock you as an SNS wand, let him. That means he's not actually going after the targets he should go after. He's not going to kill you. For purple rings, if I have 0 blessing, I might as well recraft my rings all the way from blue. If I have 0 blessing, I might as well recraft my rings all the way from blue. Not if you already have a really valuable purple leveled up. I mean, if your ring is like not progressed and not valuable, then yeah, you could start over and replace it, I guess. You could also just like junk trait the purple and then transfer it into another purple. You wouldn't necessarily want to start all the way at green or blue. How much evasion is considered decent? Like 16, 1700 is decent. 1800 for melee. But more is a lot better than not more. What about for staff 1? I have a good amount of melee evasion. What feels like it's on almost everything, and it's only 1150. Nah, you're definitely missing a lot if you have 1150. Melee evasion is the easiest of all the evasion stats to get. You can get a lot of melee evasion in T1, and you can get it on really cheap pieces. It's actually harder to get on purple gear than it is to get on green and blue gear. I wonder how many people are on the waitlist at this point. Is trial of BDO guilds? What were they called in BDO? Wow. What a guild. Do you multi-stream or just on YouTube? I'm on YouTube and Twitch. Love they added the full level and traded item preview into the game. Yeah, I think that's a really nice feature. That would have saved me a lot of time while I was trying to put together a build. Alright, I'm gonna farm until my food wears off in 2 minutes, then we're gonna go get ready for this. It's almost time. I'll hop over to there. I do recommend keeping YouTube open so you don't get spammed with ads. Unless you want to be a homie and sub on Twitch, then you won't get ads. But if you want to be a free content enjoyer, then you might want to have YouTube open so that you don't have to watch ads. Does YouTube hit you guys with ads? How does that work? Do they put ads on the live stream? Can you skip them? At least YouTube ads tend to be like 30 seconds long and not like 6 minutes long like they are on Twitch. What skill should I focus on first as staff 1 healer? I would check out Eli's builds on max roll. I couldn't tell you the priority healer stuff. I don't have a lot of experience healing. Prefer the chat system over on Twitch? Yeah, I think that's what most people prefer Twitch for. Stealing at a dentist as a guild leader when you could steal a Tevent instead, it's kind of a whiff. I think that has been happening. Who's told dentist? I don't know, some guild leader. Some dead guild. Alright, last wizard. One more belts. Alright, one more wizard. One more belt. Okay. I give up. You guys think I make it? Think I make it? I didn't make it. I have no idea what Gritton's talking about. Do you guys know what Gritton's talking about? He does a claw, you jump on a ledge. What? I need a visual. I need a visual aid. Okay, super duper simple. Got it. Should keep the character count up just for fun. Let's see how many people are here. Why do you farm here? There's a belt. Oh. Oh! That's why. If you guys are wondering why I'm so rich, it's all luck. There's no skill to it whatsoever. Hey, max health would have been even luckier. Max health is even more expensive. Oh, that's what this place is for. I always run over here when I'm ratting the skeleton event. When I want to get out of bounds so people can't hit me. I didn't know it was an actual thing. I never did this boss, so this will be interesting. I probably should listen. I did Bellendir in Korea, but I never did Tevent. The bosses were like 6 a.m. my time, so I wasn't really about that. How much hit is needed for PvP? Did SNS Greatsword users PvP with shield out or Greatsword out by default? Definitely the shield out. Yeah, you wanna be super tanky. You don't need the Greatsword out. The Greatsword will come out when you're using it. It'll come out automatically when you use a Greatsword skill. So you always want the shield out. You want a Tevent fishing rod? Start fishing for Bellendir's souls from tomorrow's patch. I don't use Bellendir's. Can you get Tevent fragments from fishing? That would get me fishing. Alright, let me put Stellarite on so that Alec doesn't get mad. Let's put good Stellarite on the great swords. We'll put good Stellarite on both for this, actually. I'm going to be bombing, so... Okay, we're going with chicken. Chicken builds. We're going with evasion, skill damage, resist. Defense food? These stack, right? They don't stack. That's crazy. They really don't stack? Alright, well, back to damage then. Damn it, now I'm gonna have to go farm more chicken, you guys. I thought you could have one attack food and one defense food. Is it only one attack or one defense plus one utility, but then some of the utility foods also have defense on them? Is that how it works? What's the point of even giving them different categories then? That's cringe. I'm upset. Attack and defense are the same? Alright, boo. Bad system. You know you can buy 2k green stellarite a day? Yeah, do you need to though? I mean, you get a lot from like field bosses from the little boxes they give you, and you get the quality stellarite dust from something. I don't remember what, but I know I get a lot of it. It's real expensive if you're buying it from the Castleton guy. It's like 600k a day. I don't know if that's worth spending your Solent on. What do you really need it for? Like, you need it for Tevent, you need it for Bell, and like, maybe, I get, maybe if you're doing boonstones every day, you would need it. We just don't get contested on our boonstones that much. So way to quickly level up your weapon mastery. It seems public dungeons are not the best choice, even with food plus books, still not leveling up. What level is it? You really only need to rush to level 10. I mean, skill mastery is pretty underwhelming for the most part. I really wouldn't worry about it. It's gonna go up when it goes up. You can use the food if you really want, but I don't even bother with the skill mastery food. I always use the Solent food. You have 2.5k normal and 14k quality? Whoa! Why do I have 14k quality? That shit's easy to get. See what I mean? Why would I buy it? How do I have exactly 2,500 of the cheap stuff? What are the odds of that? About 1 in 2,500. EU Tevent was kind of crazy. We 3 guilds were holding it. It took 35 minutes. That sounds so fun. That is not going to happen at all. Our Tevent is going to die in, I'm guessing 4.5 minutes. That's my prediction. Reassembled, withdrew their friendship. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Wait, this might get spicy. The alliance is collapsing in real time? It's okay, they don't know how to PvP. All ARC bosses will be having one of the list added. If you drop that list from Bissac, you have chance of currently Bellendir or Tevent Soul. What? Yeah, if I can fish Tevent fragments, I'll definitely start fishing. I mean, I was kind of gonna start fishing anyways. We're getting to that point. How do you put the symbol over your head in parties? I think you have to be the party leader, and then you just click on people. Or you can set hotkeys for it somewhere in the shortcuts section. Fishing for compliments? I mean, I wouldn't turn one down. Okay, well, so far I can't target him. Okay, lots of blocking. He's already at 90. Something about a mechanic. Am I standing? I can't see my feet, so I don't know how to watch it. I didn't jump. It's over. Alright, let me get a full combo up and I'll pop another remedy. Somebody's attacking me. Do I have a bodyguard? Okay, easy. We remedy. He left. Okay, I can't do my combo. That's sad. -1 remedy, boys. Blocking twice is crazy, dude. Like, who has time for that? Don't they know I have to stand here and charge my skills for like 5 seconds each? Oh, what does the rain do? Does he drop more loot when it's raining? Now we only have 10 minutes to kill him, or else he drops less loot. I jumped, I swear I jumped. Oh, there's a 25k hit. Not bad. I'm dead. I blocked too soon. That's embarrassing. I thought a player was hitting me. My health was dropping fast. See how many people Tevent is gonna farm? He's getting some frags. It's not as scary as... I feel like Tevent and Bell both need to be stronger. What's the little 60% underneath his... It's impossible to tell if I'm close enough to hit him. I'm gonna die mid-shade. Heal me! Okay, back to daggers. I don't think these will breakers are even landing. I think I'm too far away from him. Can't believe they let that guy do that to me. Alright. PvP skills. Oh! Oh, we got one! We got so much shit! Bro, we got everything! Wait, who's this guy? Someone from Cure? Got the fangs? Dude, Hypo always gets loot. We did get a lot of drops. They're not the most exciting, but we got a Warblade at least. Cure got a dagger. Wait, I didn't get a box because I was dead? For real? Is that how that works? So I should have held my respawn? Bro, this game's trash. This game's actually trash. How is that a thing, dude? Holy shit, what year is it? That's so annoying. Check mail? Okay. Maybe the game's not trash. No, this is my 80 Lucent from the guild sale. Game's still trash. Bro, I really don't get one. Got a box dead on Tevent earlier in EU conflict. Yeah, I should have stayed dead instead of respawning. That's what I'm saying. They punish you for respawning. It's really stupid. This is boring. People gatekeeping with big alliances. They ruin all the fun from PvP by doing it. Well, there used to be a bunch of other big alliances on the server too, man. And they all left. And, I mean, we can't really do anything if they choose to do that. Should we just let everyone on the server come hit the boss so that we get less loot? Is that what you think we should do? Is that on us? Probably shouldn't run everyone off. Well, if we have 4 guilds, and there's another alliance with 4 guilds, and there's a third alliance with 4 guilds, and those guilds decide to leave, like, what, should we have only had 3? Like, tell me exactly what you think we should have done differently. We already sent 2 of our guilds to Amos, and then filled with 2, like, underdeveloped Cherno guilds instead of using our full actual alliance. So we already split the alliance in half and downgraded. We're not going over 4 guilds. We're not like forming a mega alliance. We're just using the amount that the game tells you to use. What else should we do? Oh, get over here. Yeah, you better go. You better run. SNS wand, bro, you know I'm not gonna bother killing an SNS wand. I feel like we can reset this. That guy just solo sleep me? That was me, SNS1. Yeah, I know it was you. That's why I was hollering. Bro, you're the only SNS1 on the server that I've ever targeted. His arm HP? PvP weekly bosses is such a bad design. Everyone outside of the big guild will be upset. Eventually all the pawns in the big guild will be upset too when they realize they are pawns. Nevin. I'm not even watching, bro. Take it easy. Let me heal up. How does this guy always find me? Look at the situation you created. You guys are planning to leave just to go do the same thing to another server. So what do you think we should do? I mean, what do you think we should do, though? What's the solution? Everyone loves to complain about this guild, but what do you think the solution is? Ban the greatsword? Nah, the great. I don't care about the greatsword. I want the daggers. That's crazy. Yeah, I guess just wiping is enough. You don't really need to reset the boss. We got everything there. Conquest Participation Award. Must be nice, dude. Must be nice to get one of these. I'm so salty. You got what you wanted in a dead server. Why are you planning to leave? Okay, so you don't. It's pretty obviously that you're not interested in the conversation, so I'll just move on. Mogram, you got some hits? Potion, you were in the Amos Discord? That's funny. Game design is flawed. The bigger alliance dominates, but the bigger the alliance is, the less reward for each individual member feels. Is that the case? Maybe if you have, like, a more than 4 guild alliance. There might be some way that they could, like, incentivize people bringing smaller groups. I just don't think that developers have any intention of doing anything like that. I mean, they made it so you can have 70 member guilds, and they made it so you can have 280 member alliances. Like, those are the numbers they picked. Those aren't, like, the players didn't pick those numbers. The developers picked those numbers. Curious to see how they will implement the epic selection chest that is bound for field bosses. Yeah, I'm wondering what kind of odds they're going to have. Either too good or irrelevant. Yeah, I was saying the same thing when we were going to the patch notes. I think it's either going to have a massive impact on the market or none at all. It's like they might just make it super, super rare. Oh, that's money. If you're crushing a server and have no chance for prayer PvP, you should break the alliance. We did break the alliance. So you guys don't know the history of any of this, so you're kind of just yapping. We did break the alliance. We sent half the alliance to Amos. We came to Chernobog with 2 guilds. Chernobog had 4 guild alliances set up, ready to go. So we're not going to fight 2v4. That's ridiculous. These are, you know, these are competitive gamers from other games that we know, from BDO and New World and other games. Like, we know who these guys are. They're competitive. We need to somewhat number match, at least. So we picked up Cure and Reassembled, which aren't guilds with Korea experience. They're not EPH members. They're just guilds that existed on Cherno. We picked those guys up. We fought the FTP Alliance. They had 4 guilds. We fought the Bricked Alliance. They had 4 guilds. There was a ton of we weren't dominating the server. There was a ton of back and forth. These guys decided that that was too much competition and that they didn't want to have to deal with that, and that they wanted to just go somewhere else where they could have an easier time, and so they left. That's what's happened. That's why Chernobog is the way it is. I mean, I guess we could just handicap ourselves so severely that we're only bringing 2 guilds to field bosses where other people are bringing 4 or more guilds. But at that point, like, I mean, how much of it can you still blame on Ethereum? Like, is that really what's expected of us, to bring half as many guilds? That seems ridiculous. How many weapons did you get? I think Ethereum got... I know we got a great sword in fire, and then I don't know what Earth got. Cure got a dagger. We got at least 3 weapons in total. I don't know if we got all 4. What does it have? Hit chance. Not bad. Not bad, dude. What a weapon. You can only bring 10%? Yeah, I mean... that's what it feels like. Alright, guys. I got a thing tonight, so I'm gonna head out of here. I kind of thought Tevent was gonna be a little harder than that, but is what it is. We'll see if Siege turns out to be anything or not. But that's all I got for you guys today. I will be back tomorrow. Boss is still 58 on Magna. Oh. See, we should go to Magna. Is there a way to see like Alliance loot? I don't think so. I could scroll up and double check what dropped, but okay, let's go raid Blue Squadron. And you guys can ask him what he thinks about Chernobog. What was that? Is that Discord? I don't know where this voice is coming from. Alright, I will catch you guys tomorrow. Have a good one.